anymore because you gotta kill them before they reclamation you. You can just play normal Magic. Like, there are a lot of decks out there, they're just normal-ass Magic decks. I'm so excited, chat. I'm so excited. And, of course, what I did first was build 3, 4, 5 different Yorion decks. This is also a Yorion deck. I should probably say UG Yorion. There we go. So 6 different Yorion decks. We got Temur Clover, but I'm saving Temur Clover as a treat for when I get to Mythic, or maybe, which may be happening on the stream. We'll see. Diamond 1 right now. But, oh, there's so many good Yorion decks to play. You still get to play 8 cards in your opening hand. One of them's just an expensive snake bird guy. So excited. So excited for Standard. I've been loving Sultai. This deck's really good. Been testing different configurations of it. We've got Gilded Goose, which may look a bit weird because we have no Paradise Druid, but 1 mana is sometimes easier to come by than 2, and I love the way you can blink this with Yorion to gain extra life in the late game. It can save you from being burned out. Saved my life from a Colossus already today. We got Cultivate, which I'm not so sure about. We also have Wolfwood Haven Landor Visionary, so I'm not sure we need the additional ramp of Cultivate. This could be something else. I think the art's super sweet, so I'm running it now, but actually, you know what? Let's cut a couple of these. We got a lot of 3-drops. We got the Visionaries, Campaigns, and the Arrows, plus a bunch of 2s here, and a bunch of tap lands. I think I want to try one more removal spell, one more Atris. It may be that I do just want more ramp, but I've been feeling like slightly flooded in a lot of games. We got 36 lands, 3 Geese, 4 Haven, 4 Visionary, and a pile of 6 drops at the top end. Only 2 Yorion, and maybe that I want to switch that out, but this deck does not go nearly as hard on Yorion as a lot of others. We've basically got Omen of the Sea, Landor Visionary Disinformation campaign that we're blinking, and Atris. So I've been feeling okay having 2 of this, in addition to the Yorion in the command zone here. Maybe 1 Cultivate? Hard to pick, hard to pick. Maybe I go up a campaign, down an Atris, and then there, it gives me an extra 3-drop that curves with Jerail. In fact, maybe I can add another Jerail. This has been a card that's been kind of hard to figure out. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it just dies to Stomp. Yeah, and that gives me 2 more sideboard slots, which I like. I'm going to spend them on Vraska can kill Clover. So many choices, so many choices. Also, hello everybody! No, we'll get to Temur Clover eventually, Max. Yeah, it's an insane deck. Congrats on top 10. What should be the last couple picks in the sideboard? We've been doing a pretty good job against aggro decks. I could go for another Extinction event, maybe. My question is, like, I'd like some way to beat down Narset. Maybe it's just another Scavenging Ooze as a hedge against that card. And a 4th Extinction event. I've been seeing very little control so far. I think that between all the casualties, the negates, the uses, and the fact that I'm often keeping eliminating against control because they have Narsets, we should be fine. I'll stick with this. The trickiest thing about this deck is we don't have Charming Prince, so you gotta, you can't really re-trigger your Yorions very easily. You gotta be a little bit more disciplined with the cards that are spewing into your hand. Nice work, Max MTG. I don't have a record that good with any of the decks I've been testing yet, but I figured before going to the thing I know about, I might as well try some new stuff in this brand new format. I think if Clover ever does just become the ultimate dominant ladder deck, I've got some decks that can handle it. I don't know if Sultai Yorion is one of those decks. Casualties of War is good, but it's not going to do it by itself. Yep, Young Cyanide, I'll Mixed Blessing for you. Unmixed Blessing for me. This hand looks great. Great hand here. Curvity Curve. Looking for lands off this Temple of Mystery, since we've got a smooth set of things up to a pretty high mana count. Temple of Deceit. Yeah, that'll work. Can put that into play with Uro on turn 3. It's mono red. Okay, so here's where we have Atris instead of the 3rd Jerail. I wish I had the 3rd Jerail here, but Omen of the Sea can maybe find me some interaction. Let's for a Thought Erasure, be much easier to get Uro into play. Let's see what our opponent's going for. No Robber of the Rich is a huge deal. Mono Red's been one of the trickier matchups in testing. I think I'm 1-1 against it so far, and it's felt close every time. Oh wow, they just kept a Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, well I guess I'm glad you weren't a Derail. Or that you weren't. Yeah, I kinda dig the untapped Forest, save 2 damage playing Uro next turn. Wolfwillow Haven, alright, so that's like pretty cool. I get to play that plus Atris next turn, and then Casualties of War the next turn. That should be pretty reasonable. Atris doing a good job of fueling Uro in this deck, of course. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Ooh, and we even have a pain-free land that helps me get to Uro. Very good. Land or Visionary. Let's see. So next turn is Wolfwillow into Atris. Probably followed by Casualties the next turn. I think I'm going to put Visionary away. I think I would rather have any one of my like 6 2-mana removal spells. Or even just like a Thought Erasure to get Uro out faster. Could be pretty reasonable here. Oh, okay. Well, it's another one. Got double black. I think I'll go for triple blue here. Just make sure we can cast. I feel like there's some logic to like which land you're supposed to put Wolfwillow Haven on. I'm not sure what the logic is. These mono red decks tend to be playing a lot of shocks these days in Cloverland, so I wouldn't expect Atris to slow them down much. If they do Ember Cleave me this coming turn, we of course have the Casualties, which is a good answer. And pretty down for another Fabled Passage. Gets me to Uro faster. They bottom the Eliminate. Had I not had the Casualties, I'd probably have taken the Mystery card there, assuming it to be some kind of interactive thing. Alright, so I'm going to block Scorch Spitter here. If they want to put an Ember Cleave on that, I'm taking a lot less damage than I would otherwise. If they want to put Ember Cleave on Bone Crusher and just run me over, great. So this means I drop to 10, but now I get to Casualties, the Spitter, the Cleave, and a land, so that I'm not taking 2 off the Bone Crusher. Oh, Debo, I'm gonna play lots of Clover later, but you know me, I always have to do the slightly more difficult thing first. Alright. If I'd kept that Eliminate, still couldn't get Uro into play now. We'll just drop this. And actually just killing the Bone Crusher. Might as well. It doesn't matter if we're taking 2 now, if we're taking 2 less when this thing comes in. And I don't think they have anything to kill me. I guess they could have double Skewer or something like that. Fervent Champion gets close, but we have Uro the next turn. Plus Thought Erasure. So I feel pretty secure. Oh, it's Sultai Yorion, right? You're not going to see Yorion at the top of these Sultai decks too often. Alright, we'll use the Fabled Passage first, thin the deck a little bit, make sure we know what the Surveil is doing for us. Then we get Uro plus another blocker, which is awesome. Another Stomp, opponent. Another Stomp, that's fine. Alright, double Torbrand Embercleave. So does... Guess it's Embercleave? They're gonna get the Torbrand down? Huh. So if Torbrand comes down, I take 3 off Spitter, drop to 3. Kill Spitter, chump Champion, and then I get to attack with Uro and put Yorion into play? That seems fine. Alright. Definitely don't want that Overgrown Tomb. That is an oof of a hand indeed. Glad we Casualties then. There's not really any reason to keep any specific card in the graveyard unless it's another Uro, so away these go. Hello, Weed and Magic. Good evening. Yeah, I guess if Uro just were banned, I guess I'd just have Elder Gargaroth or something in that slot. It'd be so different. So different. Okay, well, Let's see if they hit the land for this Torbrand. They did. Okay. But are they going to attack? All right, they're just going for it. Oh, wait, we get to kill both their creatures. Never mind. This is why was I saying kill the Spitter? This is really, really easy. Okay, we got plenty of blockers. We got 9 mana. I'll start with Llanowar Visionary, so I'm guaranteed a blocker for the Torbrand, and then see what comes out from there. Thought Erasure again. Let's get the attack with Uro in here, see what we draw. Sublime Epiphany. Yeah, that's gonna close this one out, I think. Sublime Epiphany looking pretty crazy here. I guess I'll just hold it. Opponent's got to do something, and whatever they do, they get horribly punished. This card is... I think people saying that big, doofy creatures have been unlocked with Tef are wrong. But I do think that people saying big instants have been unlocked are correct, namely me, which is that Sublime Epiphany is now great again. Thanks, Obo. And Yo Vivo, belated thanks for the follow. Alright, so good as Sublime Epiphany and Casualties were there. Don't think we're doing that in the post-board games. We get Extinction Events, we get Scavenging Oozes, we get Ether Gusts. Gonna lose some copies of Disinformation Campaign and Thought Erasure in some number. Campaign first, Uro being able to work well off of Thought Erasure is really good. E2 Extinction's pretty slow. I can see cutting one of those. Dual Rail just kind of dies to Stomp every time, but does slow them down, and if they happen not to have a Stomp, it's really good. Also does block Fervent Champion and Scorch Spitter, so I suppose I'm supposed to keep that. I'll cut a couple of Omen of the Sea, because it's a really slow card. Yorion also could be the cut. Between Yorion and Omen of the Sea, it's tough. I'll cut a Yorion, add back, and E2 Extinction. I don't know. It's all experimental now. Yeah, Dukester, Wolf Will Have, the ramp spell that everybody forgot until now. Does struggle a bit with the Casualties of War issue in the mirrors, but reasonable card for sure. Okay, so we could Fable Passage with the idea of getting Scavenging Ooze out here. I think I'm just going to go with... Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to do here, just because it guarantees me Scavenging Ooze into Uro. If I play Temple of the Siege here, I don't have a guaranteed Uro next turn, which isn't acceptable. Yeah, Zwekdog, no. That is not what's going to happen. There will not be replacements on that level. Alright, opponent's got the triple 1-drop. If they have land Embercleave, we're in a lot of trouble. Although I suppose we could find one of our 4 Extinction Event. Breeding Pool, okay. So, yep, just oozing here. They have a Stomp, they have a Stomp. If they have a Cleave... Honestly, if they just shove, probably not blocking. Alright, they have the Shock. They catch Shock in their deck. If only there were a word for the way I'm feeling, chat. Only there were a word for the way I'm feeling about this. Alright, so we're getting hammered. Robber of the Rich hits a land. We've got a Gilded Goose, which blocks, I guess. So now I think I'd probably go Goose plus Gust here. Goose plus Gust. Zeladonio, I think, is probably the best deck in the format after the bans. I see no reason to doubt that. Yeah, I'm going to get Goose down here, I think. And I mean, this card's a reasonable Magic card. This is going to soak a lot of damage if we have time to do that. Hoping they don't have the Cleave. Bone Crusher, Giant the Goose, yeah. Do I just Gust that, actually? I just Gust that instead of the Robber. It basically saves me, well, it saves me 1 damage versus 2 damage. I guess I could Gust the Goose and their Bone Crusher Giant goes away. They hit me for 6. I draw Goose again, play it again, go back to 9. Alright, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. So we're up to 4 cards in the yard. Uro should be able to come out before I'm dead, which should hopefully keep me alive. Really depends on the opponent's last card, which was not light up the stage. Good. Good, good, good. So, yep, just Uroing here. JFB, I'm going to hope that 3-color mana bases work. I think the obvious direction to go would be into blue-green Clover, because that was already kind of a deck. Alright, do I keep that? So that gives me 1 spell to play next turn, but I already kind of have a spell to play next turn. And then I can play E to Extinction. Uro's going to be the 5th card in my graveyard, so if I keep that, my next turn is looking like... I guess Eliminate Crack of Food is still pretty good, though. Alright, I'll keep Eliminate, so I can go Eliminate Crack of Food, then Uro the next turn. Well, I mean, it's going to depend what the meta looks like. Both of those decks have their own strengths and weaknesses. Alright, we're dead. Very good. They had the Torbrand, nothing to do about that. Still happy I'm at 4 Uros for this matchup. Also, without access to Growth Spiral, you just need ramp somewhere, and Uro is a good way to get it. I think this build is still pretty much what I want. Used to have 4 Geese. I like 4 Geese in this matchup and in very few others. You don't really want to get 2 of the Gooses, given that this deck does not draw as many cards as some. Yeah, and for this, you got Thought Erasure or Wolfwool Haven into a bunch of Uros. Thought Erasure plus Uro's great. Do need some lands. Cardboard probably isn't on. I should be turning that one on. Thanks for the reminder, Kevlar Man. A little surprised that we're in a Tin Street Dodger format with everything that's going on, but what would I know? Alright, so we're just going to get the Have down this turn. Means if we get land, we could potentially double spell, or Atris. I also just want to start jamming Uros. Cool. Alright, so do I Atris? The Haven's slightly awkward. I think this is going to be Atris here. If they have a Shock again, it's awkward, but I like the idea of hitting land drops and also filling my graveyard for Uro. As long as I hit a land drop for next turn, I get to go Uro plus Gust, which should keep me alive. Alright, I'm going to just put 2 cards in my graveyard. I don't really have time to play either of those. Great, so we got a cheap removal spell. Okay, Stomp's fine, as long as they're not playing out more stuff to the board, it's all good. And it appears as though they are not, so now things are looking very smooth. We get to Uro, plus Thought Erasure. Get Uro back next turn unless our opponent's doing some kind of crafty graveyard exiling scheme. I'm perfectly happy, Genki. Right, and let me just check cards in graveyard. Yes, we need the Thought Erasure. Let's do now. What's going on in there? We see Unchained Berserker. This is a really weird one to board against a deck that doesn't play white. But sure. Let's take Robert here. If they hit a land and play Anax, I don't care. Doesn't have the Gust. Everyone's asking. We'll definitely get to some tonight. Just gotta hit Mythic with this Rogue Crew first, right? Can't be taking the easy way out every time. I mean, I am playing Uro. I am currently escaping Uro from my graveyard as we speak, so I'm kinda taking the easy way out. Foxy! Thank you for the resubscription, 4 months! A loyal old friend of the stream. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yep. A lot of bad Clover players out on ladder right now, I'm afraid. It's Torbrand. Hey, cool. Good try and stuff. Actually, we're Heartless acting this? No, we're Ether Gusting Torbrand because we don't want Anax making more tokens. Get out of here. Oh, Weed and Magic. Someday I'm going to buy myself all sorts of Clover-related accessories. It's going to be nice. Ooh, Jarail. Love that. Sadly, can't get a cat off for this turn because we've already drawn our card. So I guess we're going to have to settle for Goose into Visionary and hold up Heartless Act. Start Visionary, though. Yeah, post-board, this seems kind of like a nightmare for mono red. I guess they're going to go in with Robber and hope it's something. Alright, well, if they're not going to play Torbrand, I'm just going to Heartless Act the Robber now, I think. Right. Do I care about getting Thought Erasure? I don't really care about getting Thought Erasure. If they play Thought Erasure instead of Torbrand, that seems, gosh, awful for them. So yeah, go ahead and make your attacks, opponent, whatever. They hit a Heartless Act for Uro. Okay, that's cute, that's cute. So they get to play a lot of stuff this turn, but we're about to have another Uro before long. We also have Yorion coming out. Yes, they can obviously erase me now, but I wanted to basically cover Torbrand coming down. Perhaps that's wrong. Actually, that's not the right block. Let's get rid of the Tin Street Dodger. We'll have to 1-1. Given that if we didn't have the other Uro in hand, I would be more conservative here, but we've just got so many resources. Do I even care if they take Heartless Act? No, if they want to take Heartless Act instead of Jarail, that's fine. I assume they'll take Jarail, though. They took Heartless Act, okay. And killing my Uro, I assume? Which just gives me my endless source of 2/2s? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Back up to 5 cards in the graveyard already. Did I just escape Uro again this turn? Yeah, that shouldn't really be beatable, right? I could do Jarail stuff and be cute and all that, but I'm just gonna kill this thing, put Uro into play again, and end the game. I forgot that my opponent was kindly putting 2 cards in my graveyard for me this turn. Uro is a stupid card, chat. Yep, Cauldron Familiar Ban I think is like the, its Reclamation is the actual MVP, but like, Cauldron Familiar Ban is like Rookie of the Year, or whatever. Don't see any reason to expose Jarail to removal now, we'll just make a food. Could've played Visionary there too. But nothing I do really matters or anything at this point, they're very dead. All this, we haven't even had to take Yorion out of the command zone. Opponent still only has 5 power worth of blockers, so Uro gets to go in. Organic Chicken, I have not touched Clover in the new format. I've been trying to branch out a bit. Guess I'll Visionary first because it actually leaves a body on the board here. Oh, we're getting 6 life a turn now, too? Love that. I actually should have attacked with Uro first since I knew I was doing this, and it also would have made a cat. Got an Eliminate. Yeah, this is not even close to being close. And let's put Yorion into hand this turn, I think. Hold up, Eliminate. Could play Goose off of a Goose. I actually will play Goose here because I can blink both Geese next turn with Yorion and gain 6 more life. Yeah, Junk Food was a fun deck to play. In another world, another life. It was just a little too obnoxious. Okay, Torbrand's in. Opponent gonna make some big attacks, big hopeful attacks here. Just those, okay. Alright, so I think I block with a cat. And a Visionary. Visionary draws me a card when Uro comes back, or when Yorion comes in, so I'm just going to make this block. And I guess eliminate the Scorch Spitter. The Bone Crusher deals me 4. I don't care though. I'll kill the Bone Crusher here. Thanks for the command, Tammy. Yeah, our opponent's really persisting in playing this one out, but we have many, many layers of defense at this juncture. Opponent can double block. Are they dead? Oh, they're super dead to all attack and activate your rail. This is the other nice thing about Gilded Goose is it does attack. It does attack. No, there's no sense in casting spells. Sometimes you know me from playing Clover. Sometimes I'm just having too much fun and I don't want the game to end. Adios, adios. Me neither, Harry. But until that happens, I'll be playing Sultai Yorion instead of Esper Yorion. I mean, I'll be playing both. This would be the time to start playing Narset and really get all the dirty Uro players, except for that the latter is still full of mono red and mono green. Yeah, Zweck Dog, I guess they still had Shock in game 2. Maybe in game 3 they were like, okay, I shouldn't have Shock in, I should actually just put in a creature. I could respect that. Yeah, Drunken Vike, that's what I want to try too. I'm a little bit nervous for it against Clover, but I think if you're packing enough Innkeeper removal, it might be doable. Tasty hand here. And if we're up against another control-y deck, having a fast casualties, turn 4 is pretty good. Okay, looks like it's a Sultai Mirror. Heartless Act not so useful, but we'll just drop a Haven here. I feel pretty safe dropping the Haven now because we're gonna get to casualties first. I guess if they thought erasure my casualties and then have their own casualties will be sad. But we also don't have to actually put any permanents on the board, so if casualties just takes out one land with an enchantment on it, that's okay. Weed and Magic, when you say one of those I am playing, are you saying that it's so good that I'll have to play it at some point? Yes, Unchained Berserker, probably not a main deck card there, I would guess. Alright, so we're gonna Uro, maybe it gets Ether Gusted, whatever, everyone's playing main deck Ether Gust, that's their funeral. They were not, which means that this Thought Erasure into casualties will be their funeral. That was odd. Alright, so I guess we have the choice here between Thought Erasuring now and casualty. I'm gonna Thought Erasure now. Means we don't get the guaranteed casualties next turn, but it means that they don't get to drop some weird surprise on us. Do they have, like... what's it? Okay. I guess they have an Eliminate or something? I'm, like, really confused by what those pauses were. Yeah, Dudester, we're trying music out here for the first time on the stream. Alright, so we see Vraska. Okay, Vraska can kill Wolfwill Haven, so Vraska's kind of a complicating factor. At this point, what do I take from this? What do I take from this? Graces is tempting. Vraska is still pretty tempting. Like, if they play land, I guess they can hit Cavalier. It's like, I don't actually want my Wolfwill Haven to die. If I don't take the casualties, they'll eventually kill Wolfwill Haven with that. I'll take Vraska. Not sure at all about that. Fabled Passage. Guaranteed casualties for next turn, but casualties pretty much is just Stone Rain, although Stone Rain might be kind of broken, given how our curves are shaping up, respectively. Like, we can get an Uro out. I'll drop this. I think we're probably not casualtiesing next turn. I have Omen, so I'd like it to get to see a few more cards. If they do play Baby Krasis, then that at least gives us some casualties, which is fine. Alright, Baby Krasis. Totally good with that. So start with Omen here. Jolrael. Opponent's got a Heartless Act in hand. Jolrael loses some of its appeal, but if it's going at Jolrael, it's not going at Uro, which is pretty nice. So I guess I will keep Jolrael. I don't have to play her out yet. I could just put Yorion in hand this turn. Could lose Yorion to Thought Erasure if I do that. Let's Temple, see what's going on top here. Another Wolfwillow Haven does not really interest me. Just put Yorion in my hand here. See if the opponent hits their land drop. I guess, yeah, the fact that Cavalier ramps them into casualties here might have been a point in favor of going after that one. Opponent just does nothing. Alright, well that is unfortunate for them and very good news for me. I think this points to pretty clear casualties being the play. Guess they could have Ether Gust? I'm like really confused. Their hand's probably just full of Nissas and stuff. Alright. I assume their hand is full of Nissas. We're just gonna get rid of some stuff here. Okay, opponent's not having it. That is fine. That was a tough draw for them. Glad we erasured Nebraska. Low sport, I want Gust, I want Negates. Oh, I got the Agonizing Verses from my sideboard. That's what I did. Some number of oozes to win the Uro War. Possibly valid, although I like all my 6-drops too, so it's tough. It's tough. Eliminate and Heartless Act. I guess I could just cut all of these. Eliminate can kill Krasis, which is not terrible. It can kill Shark tokens. It can kill Nissalands. Those are all things. E to Extinction hits Nissa, which is pretty good. Also, it's Cavalier, for what that's worth. Jolrael just kind of drops to Heartless Act, but opponent might board out their Heartless Acts. And she can be pretty good for fighting a Nissa or something. Wolfwillow Haven dying to casualties is pretty bad. I think I'm just going to cut Wolfwillow Haven. Ramp is good, but ramp that makes their good card on the play even better feels bad. I don't like that. Can 2 ooze 1 more casualties of my own, or do I just go for 4 casualties? Oh, Goose. Goose is an easy cut. Okay, we'll cut a Goose. Do I cut all the geese then? Oh, so complicated. Oh, it's a mystery, chat. It's a mystery. I'm gonna try that. We'll see what happens. Kevlar Man, I don't know. I've just been playing. I mean, this is literally day 2 of the new format, right? I've been playing around with a lot of numbers. Jolrael is one of those cards where I'm like, not really sure whether I want her or not at all. This hand should probably be a mulligan. This hand has no interaction with them at all. It has an Uro. I guess eliminate through a Nissaland. I think my average mull is better than that. Alright, this is more reasonable. We'll keep 6, dump. Wolfwillow Haven, I think. Zabatel, I don't know about Cheville. In my experience playing Cheville, it just tends to get killed when you play it. I guess it's good against mono red and mono green, but I sort of just like having actual removal spells. Maybe there's place for Cheville though. It's just, you know, you gotta find room alongside everything else. Well, yes, Weed and Magic Goose can ramp Uro, but, like, what do you mean by ramp Uro? Uro costs 3 mana and then it costs 4 mana. It's not a spell you need to ramp to. It's a spell where you need a certain number of cards in your graveyard. And the way to get that number of cards in your graveyard is to play spells that go into the graveyard. And Goose just kind of sits there and doesn't do a lot against Planeswalkers. I don't think Goose is very good in this mirror. I feel like that Yorion could just be a turn 4, 4/5 flyer draw card. I guess this is Erasure? Yes, it's easy Erasure. Keep the Breeding Pool. Opponent's Negate's not going to hit anything for a while, and we can gust their green 5-drops very easily. We just need them not to have exactly like Uro or Cultivate this turn. Sweet. Okay, this looks good. Like, I don't need to play Yorion next turn. I don't want to let the shields down necessarily. Are you telling me about Jolrael, Kevlar Man? Yeah, I mean, I could see playing 3 copies. Maybe even going higher than that. Okay, so we've got Huh, they can negate Disinformation Campaign. I think this is just going to be Breeding Pool untapped, throw Yorion into my hand. If the opponent like sits there and doesn't play a 5-drop next turn, I feel like that can't possibly be right, so I expect they're going to try. The one thing that really would have crushed me there actually would have been eliminate on my Land Visionary, untap, play a land, play a Nissa. So the correct play there was absolutely to tap Land Visionary to put Yorion in my hand. That was a punt. Somebody can punt me for that if they want. That could have gone really poorly. Alright, Hydroid Crisis is fine. Even if they had a land drop off this, I get to play Disinformation Campaign next turn. They did not hit a land drop off of that, interesting. Sublime Epiphany. Yeah, I think I'm just going to campaign and just wait for my opponent to get horribly punished at some point. Through Casualties, could use some more lands. Let me dump a spare Nissa, sure. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Kellerman. Bottle Brush's music is missing. Interesting. That shouldn't be happening. Something to investigate later. If one wants to sit here, I think I'm the one at the advantage here. I guess if they play another 2/2 Crisis, that starts to get kind of annoying. Nope, they're just like not having it. By Cavalier of Thorns. Eat to Extinction. Alright, so is this the turn where you just Yorion, draw 2 cards, make our opponent discard 1, but they get to play Cavalier of Thorns, but we do have Eat to Extinction. Yeah, I just want to draw a 6th land at this point. Let's just draw a 6th land. I don't care too much about Nissa. I have a 4/5 and a Casualties of War and an Aether Gust and Eat to Extinction. Lots of coverage. Just want to find some land drops. Here we go. And sheesh, what to discard hand size? One of the Eats, maybe? They discarded the other Nissa. Maybe they drew a 3rd. I guess it's an Eat. This hand is so good. Zabatel, hey, your subscription notice just came through to me, but I think I might have missed it for a second there. Thank you so much for the subscription, and sorry that I missed you for a minute. First-time subscribers are a blessing. It's great to have you on the stream, and half of the sub money is going to be going to an excellent charity working global development. Opponent is just having none of it. That was a weird game, but I liked our density of interaction. And we're one off of Mythic, and we get to Mythic, then you can do some Clover. Aw, thanks, Subtel. Ooh, we opened a Woeful Haven, it's a sign. Oh man. Drunken Bike, I'm honestly not sure whether I'm supposed to be playing like just 4 copies of Sublime and no Casualties or something. Sublime is a kind of messed up card. There is some kind of Sublime Epiphany deck that is gonna show up in this format somewhere. That is way too powerful not to see play. It's like just the fact that it hits activated abilities and triggered abilities means it's just so hard to lose a turn when you untap with it. Like, imagine your opponent puts down Embercleave. Well, I guess you would just counter it, not counter the ability, but it does a lot of cool stuff. I did win one game today because I was able to counter a, whatever the red-green god is called. I was able to counter one of her triggers. And also bounce an opponent's creature, and then that bought me the turn I needed to dig for a Gilded Goose at 1 life. That was a good game. Yep, Razzleflab, and I decided I was not going to lose to Team Wreck, and I did not lose to Team Wreck, and I did lose to other things. Blothis, that's it. I keep thinking like Calumny, but that's a different card. Alright, so question is, do I Omen here? Opponent might be doing like Mystical Dispute stuff, seeing Temple Deceit, but I'm betting they're just Sultai. I bet they're just Sultai. But I'd be down for some spice. Alright, well, if we get Mystical Disputed, that's on us. I was not Okay, good. No main deck Mystical Dispute, and we are going to be looking for... Yeah, both of those actually look amazing. I'll take both, thanks. Love having Llanowar Visionary especially, because Temur decks are probably playing Narset, and I really want to be able to attack a Narset. Because drawing cards is, as usual, what I am all about, and what I am not about is not drawing cards. Also, if the opponent just taps out for something silly, we can play Yorion and draw 2 cards. Because Llanowar Visionary Yorion is a hell of a combo. Alright, I'll take my 2-for-1s. No, I think this may just be genuine actual factual Temur. But I could be proven wrong. Yeah, Haven is... I honestly wonder if this deck could get by without Haven. Alright, so opponent finds a Liliana, which can't actually kill my Llanowar Visionary. Guess I'll discard this Eliminate. Ah, okay, so this is Grixis. A different sort of pile. Do I just Wolfwill Haven into Eat to Extinction? Karoxa doesn't really scare me for a while. I think I'm pretty down to eat the Liliana. Let's see, if I just Yorion, what happens? I can attack Liliana, then Yorion. She goes to 3. Actually, that seems pretty reasonable. I don't mind discarding cards. I have all the cards in the world here. Let's just get her. I'm going to put the Llanowar draw on top of the Omen draw, because it helps me determine what I want off of the Omen. I think that's right. Ooh! I always want that one, and I always want that one too. Perfect, perfect! Love playing a deck with a lot of cards that just grind control into the ground while also having access to a bunch of just cards, removal spells. Whiffs on Narset, that's not good, and... Alright, just decides to kill Llanowar Visionary. That does not seem like the winning line for the opponent. And now he could just hold Sublime Epiphany up forever. Appealing as that is, though, I think I want to develop the board a bit more. So we'll just go with... Haven... Campaign... Goose goes honk. One's still 2 red sources off of Kroxa. Ah! Look at that, chat. It's Nicol Bolas. Oh no. It destroyed target creature or planeswalker, chat. Yeah. I'm just gonna play Yorion again this turn, I think. That seems about right. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting little thing we do here. So we're going to be careful to use the Wolfwill Haven land. We put Yorion to hand here, and what I'm going to do is the following neat trick. This isn't like super necessary in this position. It's not actually that important, but I'm showing it to you because it's good to know the trick. We're going to play Yorion, blink all our stuff, and then we're going to, including Wolfwill Haven, and we blink Wolfwill Haven, Wolfwill Haven's going to come back down onto our untapped land, which means that Yorion basically just made a mana for us. In fact, it gave us the ability to play a 2-drop that we have in our hand, when before we would have been able to play nothing. It also means we can play ECD if we want to. Opponent could escape Kroxa this turn if they have Fabled Passage. I'll escape both of these. Heartless Act kills Kroxa with... I guess Eliminate also kills Kroxa. I didn't really need to keep those. But our opponent's super dead. So yeah, this just lets me keep up a 2-drop if I want to do that. I also just get to exile this food. Nice Nicol Bolas. They could kill Yorion and keep Nicol Bolas alive, but then I eat to extinction Nicol Bolas, so Nicol Bolas will no longer be alive. And I have a Sublime Epiphany just sitting here. Lyrical Lycan, you just take your Wolfwill Haven off the tapped land with Yorion and you put it on the untapped land. So this easily gives them cards in graveyard for Kroxa. Also, Lyrical Lichen, thanks for the follow. Ooh, Blood Crypt in the yard. So they found a different red source, I guess? Yep, Fabled Passage, sure. So now we get to kill their Kroxa with the mana that otherwise would have gone unspent. And we even have a spare random removal spell to discard. You'd think this would be the scoop, but people don't scoop as often as you'd think they would. But next time our opponent does anything, we cast Sublime Epiphany. And that probably cleans things up nice and good. I've got access to 8 mana, so I'm going to play this untapped so I can have Sublime Epiphany and a cycle. Might as well cycle now, I guess. Nah, who knows if they have like a random Mystical Dispute or whatever. Oh, Op's name is the scoop. Yeah, Bolas is a powerful walker, but there's just never been a Grixis deck that worked. There's just never ever been one. I refuse to believe there ever has been one. Okay, so we get to Sublime Epiphany, counter Lily, bounce one of our permanents back to our hand, create a token, draw a card. So order matters here. We're gonna bounce the Omen here. It does mean we don't get to blink the Omen, but bouncing Omen basically means we get an extra bit of insurance in case the opponent were to like remove Yorion in response here. So I think it's the right move. I'm gonna make a copy of Yorion, of course. I'm gonna draw a card. Alright, well that all worked out nicely. So we get to do this, we get to keep this Yorion, which of course you've seen this trick before by this point if you watched the stream much. We get to blink all of these, and we get to cast Omen of the Sea now. I actually could have blinked the Haven as well, but given we only have 1 blue mana, there's no way we can play 2 spells anyway. Oh, is that so, Kevlar Man? Is that so? You'll have to explain that to me a bit more, because I'm not sure what the thing is here. Okay, so we get to blink all these again. Full control. Cast Omen. Oh, you mean cast Omen again? Yeah, no, I see you. Good call. That would have been the ultimate greed play, and I would have enjoyed doing it. So thank you. Yep, could have cast it before the Yorion trigger. Just wasn't holding full control, it would appear. I guess now with Scavenge using my sideboard, I should get in the habit of trying to keep creatures in my graveyard. Ooh, we even got a Fabled Passage, so I can play Campaign again. I like that. I could also just wait on Campaign in case my opponent has... I'll play it out now, and wait if I draw a Thought Erasure, I can just bring it back immediately. Ooh, Atris is nice. We'll hold the Triumph to cycle. Oh yeah, we get more cards, I forgot about that. Just literally forgot what was sitting in my exile zone. I guess... Now just thinking in terms of what card could possibly get our opponent close to winning this game, Command the Dread Horde? I don't think Command the Dread Horde really does anything, but that's a thing we could think about. Certainly none of those cards do it. Value always, chat. Value always. Take this thing, put 2 more lands in the graveyard. Love that. Is Uro ready to come out again? Uro, I believe, is ready to come out again. Oh look, another Atris, in case my opponent manages to Wrath or something. I like that. At this point, I'm just trying to not worry about value, but just get my opponent to concede the game so we can move on to the next one. Ooh, Kevlar Man, ooh. That is something to think about, huh? My only regret is that Teferi is banned, so I can't Thought Erasure my opponent on their upkeep like they deserve. Alright, let him have a turn here. Uro is a messed up card, Yorion is also a messed up card. I guess I'm not gonna Omen now. Just let them take the Atris if they want it. Or the Omen if they want it, or whatever. They are just dead to attacks now, so it's not going to go on for much longer. Okay. Alright, so... Grixis. Biggest thing that I'm worried about is Narset. Don't want to get got by Narset. Ether Gust I don't think hits enough things to be worth it. Way too easy for that to be a dead card sitting in your hand when you can't afford it. Heartless Axe seems pretty bad. We've got plenty of ways to clear a Kroxa, including Scavenging Ooze. I don't think we need that. Gilded Goose is pretty bad in control matches, where both players are grinding resources back and forth. Don't want to put more casualties in for something. They've got Planeswalkers, lands, and occasionally creatures. Wolfwool Haven's another card you can consider cutting. Just doesn't create value. The ramp is nice, though. Warakun, are you asking about why I'm not playing ECD in my Sultai deck? Or just why I wouldn't play white in a Yorion deck? I think every single 4-color combination of Yorion or 3-color combination of Yorion that doesn't include red is probably pretty viable. In fact, probably every combination is pretty viable because Yorion's a super messed up card. Sublime's a little awkward against their discard spells. I'm just gonna stick with this. We'll see if the Wolfwool Havens are bad. Demovia, New Standard is beautiful. New Standard is just you don't really realize that, like, how much tightness there had been in your chest until the tightness is no longer there because you don't have to worry about playing against frigging Wilderness Reclamation. Oh. I don't know, Kevlar Man. I've had a lot of fun with Abzan. It's probably worse than some other things. That is a perfectly okay dress. Yes, Naya I think would be quite underwhelming. I don't see what you really get out of Naya. Alright. Temples are great. Love temples. Could even play some more temples. Probably should play some more temples. Alright, glad that's not a Thought Erasure. I will be jamming Scavenging Ooze next turn. I don't care about their removal. I just want to make sure they can't resolve a Narset safely. And I love that Scavenging Ooze keeps their graveyard nice and small for Liliana purposes. Eliminate might not have much use, but I guess it protects me from future Narsets. Yes, I think you need blue or black. I have thought about white-green builds before, but that's probably nonsense. Alright, speaking of nonsense, these draws. Definitely a breath of fresh air. Alright, so what does Liliana do again? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Okay. X is the number of cards in your graveyard. My opponent's graveyard has 3 cards in it already. Alright, so we're going to jam this Overgrown Tomb untapped so I can ward off a Liliana, if it comes to that. And we're just going to be eating our opponent's graveyard sort of prophylactically here. Oh, alright, I guess Fabled Passage gets them the Liliana if they want it. That's not bad, that's not bad. Nothing I can do about it if they have one. Let's see if they do. Yep, so obviously I drew a land and eliminate here to start with. I'm still going to be eating my opponent's graveyard up. Well, I'll wait for them to activate this thing. I don't have any creatures to eat, sadly. Alright, battle is joined. If I continue to draw lands, opponent could maybe get this one. But Atris is basically the perfect draw, because this threatens Liliana. Gets me some card advantage, is insane if I get to cast this Yorion in my hand. That was perfect deck, no complaints. Yeah, I just don't know about cards like Liliana, Waker of the Dead when you could be playing Atris in your Grixis deck. This card is superb, by the way. Really, really underrated card, I think, during its time in Standard. Yeah, I'm just gonna put 2 more lands into the yard. Ooh, nice. Good job, Atris. You filtered like a champ. Alright, so opponent could have, like, if opponent has Nicol Bolas kill Atris, then I guess I'm in trouble because that was 3 more lands. But we're fighting, we're fighting. And hey, we can let their opponent have their fun for 1 game. And I do have a 4/5, which none of their stuff answers at the moment. Alright, we're doing our best, chat. We're doing our best. I think the Eliminates are coming out for Casualties of War, maybe. Maybe. Narset is still important, but it is pretty annoying to have a card that is just dead. And I like that Casualties is never dead. And on the play, Narset's a lot less threatening. But I do expect us to die this time. Yeah, Ken Zenba. I have played a lot of Clover, and it is hard to imagine anything being better than that deck on a regular basis. Going to discard the Eliminate here. It has no targets, and maybe we'll draw Casualties off the top. Okay, well, let's see what happens to me now. Dark Typhoon, Dispersal, very cute, very cute. Am I scooping to this? Yeah, I'm just tired of this game. Alright, Casualties versus Eliminate. Eliminate seems kinda iffy. Yeah, in Order Crest, that was like 7 lands in a row. I mean, there was an Atris in there somewhere. Oh, I don't do main deck gusts. I think main deck gust is pretty premature for this format. All right, so Planeswalkers. I guess Gust stops Bolas. I just want more Casualties. Let's get those in here. I like Woeful Haven a lot for ramping up Casualties. We'll cut some Eliminates. We have Thought Erasure to hit in Narset. Oh, you're talking about Clover having problems with Sultai. Yes, I think if any deck can oppose Clover, it's going to be Sultai, but I think that matchup was close, slightly favored for Sultai, and they lost Growth Spiral, and Clover lost nothing. And the Eliminates are like a bad pennies. Still, if opponent doesn't have a Thought Erasure, this is a turn 3 Atris. And I do not mind that mulligan at all, given the kind of hand we had. Very cute, Ansky, very cute. I am amused. Yeah, post-rotation, yes, post-rotation Clover looks absurdly dominant, but we're also getting a whole bunch of new Magic cards, so be premature to say anything there, I think. Opponent got a Mountain. You know what Mountain does not cast, chat? Mountain does not cast Thought Erasure. I guess this is where we see if they've also got Agonizing Remorse. JFB, I think it can be tricky. Gem Razor specifically can make that a little tricky, but I think overall you're pretty favored. Not pretty favored, but like slightly favored. You just have so many tools against creature decks, and they really have to kill you very fast. I think if you really wanted to be hedging Clover's harder matchups, main deck Aether Gust might make sense. I think main deck Aether Gust and Clover makes more sense in a deck like this, because Clover is sort of has predictable holes in its interaction where you can cover with other cards in Sultai. Yeah, I'll take... What the heck was the third card? Oh, it was an Uro that they put in my graveyard. Yikes! That's not a good sign for them. Karaksa. Alright, what do I want to do next turn? Guess I'll just discard Eliminate, hold up Negate, and just start beating the heck out of them with Atris, casting Omens of the Sea. Oh, look, an Uro, too. So I guess I'll do that and hold up Negate plus Omen. That seems reasonable. I don't know. I guess I haven't seen the new version of Winota since I haven't really been playing Standard lately, but I'd be surprised if that matchup were particularly competitive in terms of Clover having any trouble. It's just so frequent that you do have the Borrower or the Double Stomp, and they also just can't attack through Lovestruck Beast very well at all.
I literally just lost to it.
Oh, Tammy just lost to Winota, so it's a sore spot. Sorry, Tammy. Alright, I don't want a Thought Erasure yet, I just want to hold up my pieces of interaction. Since I'm betting they play a non-creature spell. If they play exactly Atris, then I've been a fool. Oh, Demovia, is this a list? Like the opponent's actually playing like a Reed Duke deck? I see. I think I'm down to just not take that second land, but I do want the Fable Passage because I've got a Rose. Is Atris gonna bite the dust now? Oh, look at that, it's Disinformation Campaign. That goes well with Thought Erasure. Oh! Kanye, your long period of silence into the burn on Grixis is absolutely in character, and I love it. You're also asking the right questions. Alright, so opponent could have a counterspell of some kind, so I'm gonna campaign first, see what they do. You can always test that by just hitting exclamation point deck. Ah, here's the Bedevil on Atris. Very good, very good. Okay. So I guess if their hand is like 4 copies of Nicol Bolas and they draw a land off the top, maybe they get us. I could also just not even bother the Thought Erasure and just hold it Negate. It's kind of tempting. They're at 4 cards, they can't do Kroxa stuff yet. Yeah, the only way I could ever possibly lose this game is if I let them get a Planeswalker down. Yeah, Kevlar, what I mean is they can hit exclamation point deck and then they can go and see if there's a Yorion Sultai deck in there. But yes, it helps to answer questions too. Alright, I'll wait. I'm just gonna hold up this Negate forever. If they have like Liliana with Mistful Dispute backup, I don't care. Yep, alright. None of that. And now we get to empty their whole hand, so all of our concerns are sort of... Oh, Scavenging Ooze. That's good. That is a good one for taking care of this Karaksa right on time. Okay, it was only 2 copies of Nicol Bolas. See, Kanye? That's not actually what happens every time. It was only 2 Nicol Bolases. We'll take 1 Karaksa, please. So this puts them in a position where they can top deck Nicol Bolas, but we have a lot of tools for that now. Ooh, Kevlar Man, tell me about the new mana setup. I'm down to try new things. It's a new time. Yep, Nordic Rest, and that's why you gotta think. Now, in most closer positions, you would play Thought Erasure there, but if you're very, very far ahead, you always gotta be thinking, what is the way I could possibly lose this game? What would have to transpire? So now we have Sublime Epiphany, and we could hold up Sublime Epiphany forever. But our opponent can Ether Gust our Ooze, and then we're just staring at each other, and that kind of seems boring. Jamming Campaign into Negate. Makes sense that that's the thing they had. And now I'm going to play Llanowar Visionary. Because what they'd have to do now would be to, like, Ether Gust the Scavenging Ooze. Alright, so if they have a Bolus now, we have Casualties of War, so I don't care. Guess I'll put this on top because it's a creature that attacks. Bottoming it could have just been fine too. Alright, now we have Sublime Epiphany, and I'm not going to do anything but hold Sublime Epiphany until they die. And that's Mythic. Good old Sultai Yorion. Very rarely losing a match. Ooh. Heresy, Kevlar Man, but also I'm intrigued. Kevlar Man, tell me your mana base. Let's go do some Clover. Alright, Scorching Dragonfire I don't think needs to be here. Let's get Of One Mind back in here instead. My theory is that Of One Mind... I'm actually going to try 2 Of One Mind here. This is like a working theory I have, is that with Teferi not around, your human tokens are much more likely to survive. Because they're not going to get into combat that often, and they're not going to get, like, hard removed that often, which means your human count is going to be higher in general, and Of One Mind plays a little better. People are also going to be much better at killing Innkeeper than they used to be, so maybe Of One Mind actually doesn't fit, but we're going to start with this. And... Alright, Kevlar Man, what's the mana base? You said we're cutting a breeding pool. So what's happening? Hey, Kawaii! Thanks for the bits. Demovia, maybe. Something I'll think about when I go back. Zilladonio, I think that Clover's early setup turns are absolutely key. I think it's more often that you have, like, early setup problems and color problems. I also love the way the temples play off of Escape to the Wilds when you frequently, like, aren't casting anything after casting your giant draw spell, you get an extra scry. I don't know, I've just had so many games where I can, like, literally point to a temple as the reason I won that game, and I have very few color-screwed games. Alright, 4 Triumph. Alright, so you're insisting on Triomes? I hate Triomes. I hate them. I'm just gonna keep my... but it's all one unified mana base. Alright, fine. I'm gonna do what you're saying, Kevlar Man. You've been a good, loyal friend of the stream. We're gonna try this out, but I reserve all right to be annoyed at the Triomes and take them out at some point. 3 Stomping Ground, 2 Steam Vents. 7 Forest. I do like the idea of playing more untapped lands, so that's a reason I'm interested in this mana base. Am I missing something? 7 Forest, 4 Triumph. There we go. Okay, we got Of One Mind, and sideboard-wise... Again, it's a new format, so I'm trying some new things. I'm trying Primal Might over Domri's Ambush. These cards are, It's possible Ambush is better. It is nice that Ambush is not a fight. It lets you kill big things like Uros and 6/6 Crasises sometimes. But, if you have anything other than exactly 2 mana, and you have a Lovestruck Beast anyway, which is what Domri's Ambush works best with, Primal Might's better. It just adds power, it adds damage to your plays. It can be cast for 1 mana, which is maybe the biggest deal. The fact that sometimes you just get to have a 1 mana removal spell on your sideboard now, I love. Yeah, I did play Triomes for, like, many matches, and I wound up going back to Temples and feeling pretty happy about it, but maybe I'm just irrationally in love with Scrying. It feels like too many counterspells. I feel like I don't need all 3 of these. Sublime Epiphany is my, like, I'm letting myself have this indulgence. There was a pretty successful Clover deck on ladder recently that was running Discontinuity, which I thought was cute, and Sublime Epiphany is, like, my version of Discontinuity. I think that Sublime Epiphany is usually better things happen when you cast this than when you cast Discontinuity. Zeladonio, Primal Might does not deal with Planeswalkers directly, but the idea is if you have a creature, you're often going to be able to, like, just attack the Planeswalker after Primal Mighting away a blocker or something. But that is a flaw, right? That's, like, a reason that Domri's Ambush might be better than Primal Might. So, I'm trying it out. It's just, like, a different set of affordances that you have with this card than with Domri's Ambush. Maybe even end up playing both. I don't know. I've got Return to Nature here because it's not nearly as important to have 1 mana enchantment rule with Reclamation out of the format, so I'd rather have something that can clean up a Great Henge or a Stonecoil Serpent. Is Return to Nature better than a Wilt? I think so, JFB. I think so. It's tough. I'm like picturing like the number of games where you like have to wish for a thing that just says draw a card because you've run out of other good things to wish for. I think it's happened to me like 1 or 2 times ever, and never in a game I was losing. Versus Return to Nature, maybe you've already used your Tormod script and you really need to get rid of a second Uro from a graveyard. I feel like that's more likely to come up than the needing to cycle play. You'll notice I don't have Grafdigger's Cage in here anymore because Cauldron Familiar is banned. I might put Grafdigger's Cage back in if Rakdos turns out to be pretty popular and we just need to shut down all the Croxas. Or if some Lurrus deck gets big. But for now, I'm relying on Crypt to kind of handle graveyards. We'll see how that works out. Henge might be viable again. That is true. Lovestruck Beast gets bounced less often. Lovestruck Beast does die more often, I would guess. Eliminate's going to be a much more popular card in the format now. Yeah, it's actually close. Henge and Elven Mind are sort of very similar cards. Very frequently, if you're casting Elven Mind, it means you have a Lovestruck Beast in play anyway. Let's go up to a Great Henge. I love this card. I want to try it again. Thanks for the reminder, Kevlar Man. Yep, that is true. Mardu Cage is reasonable against Winota. Although, against Winota, don't you just get Red Cap Melee? This has always confused me. Like, Red Cap Melee also beats Winota unless they have 2 Winotas. And if you're in a position to, like, wish for and cast Red Cap Melee and they have 2 Winotas, like, you also have Ether Gust. I don't know. I feel like if I have time to wish for things, I'm just going to get Red Cap Melee instead of Cage, but maybe it's, like, nice to have the prophylactic where you just play Cage and shut him down. We'll see. If we get ganked hard by Winota, I might go back to Cages. Although, man, Cage is also good against Croxa. Fine. We'll start with Cage here. It's one of the cards that's on my suspect list. I don't know if it's going to stay in. But Sublime Epiphany is also, like, hilariously over-the-top silly. So probably don't need that one too much either. Yes, you can preemptively cast the Cage. Slight benefit. Then nope, I've been playing Yorion decks exclusively, plus some, I guess, Turbo Gargaroth. Mythic Clover, I think, has maybe, it may make more sense post-rotation if you're doing, if the lands get much worse and 3-color mana is hard. For now, I think Bonecrusher Giant is ridiculous in this meta. I think Uro is pretty suspect. I just really hate having a whole strategy revolve around a card that just gets ganked by Scavenging Ooze. Well, Zeladonio Cage is good versus Uro, but I have a copy of Tormod's Crypt and a copy of Return to Nature. So unless the opponent gets to rebuild their graveyard and find 3 Uros, it's not a huge problem. And then Grafdigger's Cage can also get killed by Casualties of War, and most Uro decks I expect to also be Casualties of War decks nowadays. Zeladonio, I don't think you can really do a control Simic Clover deck. I think you have to run too many cards as part of the Adventure Shell that it doesn't really leave you with much room for counters. I have thought about like a rampier Clover deck that maybe eschews like Edgewell Innkeeper and just tries to like lean harder into Beanstalk and play cards like Sublime Epiphany. But those are experiments for other people to try for now. Maybe I'll do them later. Maybe we'll have a stream that's just variations on Clover. Alright, so I'll keep this hand. Slight risk of the opponent's on black-white. Alright, so I assume they're on black-white Yorion with the Orzhov sleeves. This is not a matchup I've played before since I stopped playing... Oh, never mind. Everything just went out the window. Alright, so we've got a... So already I have a Triome here. If this Triome were a Temple, this hand would be much better because I do need to find a 3rd land very badly. And Kevlar Man, this is the kind of thing that happens to me all the time. I feel like you just get to miss fewer 3rd land drops playing Temples and Clover. Yes, exactly, Patrick. Exactly. Gift of Paradise. Alright, well that I can Brazen Borrow. Alright, let's make 4 tokens. 4 tokens also pressures down a Planeswalker pretty well. If my opponent plays Nissa, we get to block a land, that sort of thing. I will say Gift of Paradise is actually kind of... If it weren't for Casualties of War, Gift of Paradise would be kind of interesting for Sultai Yorion. Weed and Magic, I just made Mythic. There are probably about 100 people in Mythic right now. Being ranked 79 is not a big deal. Shocks in the Shrine, okay. Well, there's that third land. Glad we found that before we get casualties. Great Henge also looking way worse than Of One Mind here. Revitalize. This is all, of course, one game sample size. I'm not seriously gonna, I'm not gonna go and revert the changes right away. I'm just noting that I'm doing two things that are kind of like new that I had stopped doing in the deck after not liking them, and I'm already not liking both of them in this one game. Oh, you know it, Blind Guardian. You know it. Okay, I like that they've given us several permanents to bounce, even if it gives them low. Alright. Opponent is on Abzan Yorion. I love it. I love it. I kinda... Oh man, I love it. We are gonna get to bounce two of their mana sources, which is pretty awful for them. Priome. Yeah, still just wish this were a temple. Still just wish this were a temple. So... I mean, we might get to cast Great Henge at some point. Let's go in... Let's see, I think I'm attacking all out, including with the tokens here. So we're just gonna go with... Yeah, I still just kind of want to bounce two mana sources. Obviously gain some life back and I get to draw a card again, but... I think given they missed a land drop, I just love the idea of restricting their options for next turn. I know that if I were playing this Abzan Yorion deck, this is what I would not want to see. Yeah, we had a conversation about that, Jay Blazes, before you came in. I am suspicious of Grafdigger's Cage. People insist that Winota is this big, scary monster deck, so... We're sticking with it for now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cage left. I think I like Crypt way too much for it to leave. Although I guess, yeah, maybe Cage is just better than Crypt, actually. It's just wishing for 0 mana spells gives me the happy feelings. Alright, so this is Gift of Paradise. Probably into an Eliminate for Lovestruck Beast, or not. So I just cast Great Henge. The problem with Great Henge is it gets kind of ganked by casualties, but I guess I like the idea of saving my Clover. Let's see. Oh, Clover, man, I don't doubt that Winota is a pretty good deck. I just am not necessarily scared of it from a Clover perspective. I could also just borrow the Prince and the Gift of Paradise, and hit my opponent for 8 damage, and then have a double stomp backup. They have Eliminate. That play does get me kind of punished. I get to kill their Llanowar Visionary and their Prince if they just go for Visionary Prince next turn, which is nice. Oh, do I think it's more like they have Casualties or Eliminate? Casualties or Eliminate. They also need a land, and they missed a land drop last turn. Alright, I'll go with Henge. I think this is the higher upside play. They could also just have something random like Mythos of Nethroi that kills Henge, in which case it's kind of a poor use of a turn. I'm just going to attack with Lovestruck here. Don't think the extra damage is worth it now, since I think they probably have Eliminate. Or not. Okay, cool. Before I forget. And it's a Yorion loop. The saddest Yorion loop in the universe, chat. Yeah, Zwek Dog, that's why I was talking about Red Cap Melee. Zilladonio, this is literally day 4 of the season. Very few people are Mythic. Something routine 100 and 150, I would guess. Alright, can I kill them in some way? I don't know, I'm just gonna cast Escape the Wilds to start with. Nice. Alright, so... What I could do, actually, is when Yorion lands, I could just bounce Yorion and Prince. That could be an option if I stomp... No, if I stomp them, they drop to 3. Which seems very good. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, Snowmlake. I'm thinking about it. Bounce their bounceables is tempting. Stomp their stompables is tempting. Yeah, we have 3 borrowers. I'll go for the borrower play here. Just putting them off of having casualties is great, actually. I like that. I like that. Oh, and it also did mold a 5 here, so... Hopefully next game we have a better, more even exchange. Ooh, this is weird. It's like stretching an old muscle. I mean, I did play some Clover in Historic, but the feeling of just like being the alpha predator... Apex Predator? Apex Predator, the alpha dog. In Standard is a new one. A renewed one, I should say. Alright, so Abzan, Yorion, probably some casualties, random value plays. Brazen Borrower. I was going to say Brazen Borrower might be a little worse. I think the Great Henge seems like an easy one to cut. I feel like when they know about this card, it's pretty easy to play around. It also gets whacked by casualties. I feel like Disdainful Stroke is probably reasonable. Yeah, we'll just go with Stroke. Hits Yorion, hits casualties, hits Doom Foretold if that becomes relevant. And I still have Negate in the sideboard to wish for, as needed. I mean, I also did play Triomes after they came out, of course, because I was pretty excited to have a Temur land. Alright, this hand is on the sluggish side. I still think it's a keep. It's got our colors, it's got a little bit of early pressure, but it's a much more fair hand, so we'll see what happens. Definitely another hand where, like, if I were going to draw a land, I'd much rather draw a Temple than a Triome. Ooh, Edgewell Innkeeper. Alright. Alright, so here's the question. Do I start with Innkeeper and hope to dodge Agonizing Remorse, or do I start with Lovestruck Beast and hope to dodge Eliminate? At most, their counter suite, their discard suite's probably 4 Agonizing Remorse, whereas they could easily have more than 4 different ways to kill a creature on turn 2. So I'll go with this. See if we get punished with a Remorse here. Griffin Airy. Oh, I get it. Wow, that's a really bad place to be against my deck. So, Oath of Kaya, definitely looking like it's going to be a thing. Gift of Paradise we already knew about. Charming Prince, this is great. This actually, without Reclamation in the format, this might be playable. Griffin Airy. I forgot about this card. Gosh, I'm going to write that down. Hold on. I'm going to write that down. Griffin Airy. Love this card. Fantastic. I'm so enthusiastic. Alright, so do I just jam... Problem here is that if I jam Innkeeper and a token and the Innkeeper just gets Oath of Kaya, I'm going to be miserable. I think I'm just going to keep my Innkeeper out of trouble for now. I now feel like I have a much better grasp on what my opponent's doing, and it involves Oath of Kaya. Many Oath of Kayas. Yeah, Coverman, I think I just literally forgot the card existed. Like, they showed me Revitalize, and I'm just like, okay, this is a deck full of kind of random cards. Wasn't even thinking about it, but yes, it makes sense. I still think Revitalize is probably not good enough. If you're playing an 80-card deck, you kind of can't count on drawing the Griffin Airy or whatever. Alright, well, Innkeeper did kick the bucket. But we do get a Lovestruck Beast at the same... Oh, my goodness, they took Beanstalk. That's a decision. Okay, well... Vikyle, I mean, there's a lot of skill in the mirror. It's also true that, you know, as with any Magic game ever, there are times when one player can have a draw the other player can't beat. That will happen once in a while. Ooh, Jarail Revitalize, getting a lot of creatures. Look at that. Look at the squad. Look at the squad, chat. I still have 5/5s, though. That was like a cool turn. Yep. Pow. And do I kill Jarail now? Do I kill Jarail or just go Innkeeper Lovestruck? Think I'll kill Jarail here and maybe just pass? Lovestruck Beast is still just dominating the board here. I could play Innkeeper as kind of a distraction to get Escape down. But right now, Oath of Kaya has no good targets for them. I'm just gonna pass. Just gonna pass here. I like that they have no Yorionable permanents yet. Oh, Veto. There's a card you should not play in your Yorion deck. Do not play an aggressive 3-mana 1/3 in your Yorion deck, please. Please. Yeah, the mirror is incredibly skill-intensive in places. It's like, I've played a lot of mirrors of Clover in my time, and I've seen some pretty crazy wins go down. I think the biggest piece of advice, like a couple pieces of advice I would have to offer are, first, just be really careful about your life total. Like, in Clover matchups, basically, because Beanstalk Fling can happen, like, at any time, you want to maybe be more careful about preserving your life total or getting Shadow Spear earlier than you might realize. It's just like, I've definitely seen people get really obsessed with, like, Clover value and just get absolutely run over because they were not adequately prepared, shall we say, for Beanstalk Fling, or even just like a bunch of stomps with a Desperate Attack, or like a Surprise Borrower at the end step. There are a lot of ways to sneak in damage, basically. And so you want to be ready to work around that. Okay, so we're just going to resolve Escape while we have the chance. We might hold up Stroke if we can. Alright, given that our opponent doesn't have Yorion mana and they're not going to have Casualties mana, I'm just going to jam Clover here. I think that's pretty clearly the move. Alright, and the card that combos with Vito to kill us is 6 mana. There is a combo with this card. The card Revenge could get us. Disdainful Stroke counters it. We can also bounce Vito in response to it. So we have lots of defense. We're just going to keep an eye out for it and make sure we don't accidentally lose. Yep, Drunken Vike, that's exactly right. Barrel again. Do we have a Revitalize again? Ooh, Charming Prince. Okay, that bounces Oath of Kaya. No, it doesn't bounce Oath of Kaya. What is it? Oh, they just gain life. Okay. So you get another Griffin. Like, this is cool. Like, Vito's doing something to pressure us, but I still feel like if your goal is to play an 80-card deck with this thing as an 8-drop, you just want to be getting value in some form. So here, I believe the play is just bounce their expensive crap. Vito and the Bird seems right. Actually, I can go Clover first. I was not even paying attention to what I drew. So now we just go off. Yeah, Wheat Magic, it's easy to see it as luck. I would encourage you not to have that approach to the matchup. I think it's easy to, like, if you see that your opponent has an early Clover, an early Innkeeper, and you don't have those things, to be like, can't win now, that's too bad. But I have definitely won some Clover mirrors from very surprising positions. Alright, so we're gonna bounce the Griffin, the Vito, and I believe the Griffin Airy. Or is it the Jerail? Make it the Airy, I think. They probably have fewer ways to draw a card than they do to gain 3 life. Innkeeper, and then we'll attack. We're going to hold Borrower and Disdainful Stroke. Okay, we're on Chump Block with Jerail mode. Maybe they have a third Jerail in hand. Maybe they're playing too many of a certain powerful legendary creature. Yeah, this is the funnest part of this season for me, is going to be seeing what weird crap people put in their Clover sideboards. That's going to give me a lot of laughs. Relative Absolute, thanks for the follow. Well, you are going to have a hard time convincing me to play any deck other than this one if I get going. Oh, man. Alright, we finally hit the situation where Ketria Triome is, like, a little better than Temple, although Temple being able to scry, and then I have an Innkeeper in play, so it's free, as opposed to, like, having to pay 3 to get the card, so it's still kind of, like, unclear which one's better. What do we start with here? We'll go... start with Bone Crusher, I think, because if I draw Fae of Wishes, I just win. Brazen Borrower, does that just win as well? Opponent's going to take 16? So yes, basically they're dead. Alright, I'll cycle Triumph now in case I had a Bone Crusher to put them out of the, to close things up. Yep, that's fair, Kellerman, that's fair. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that's easy to underappreciate. With the converse being that, like, temples let you just much more easily manage the number of lands you have at a given point. Alright, Mythic 54. So we actually get to do a real climb now. It's very exciting. It was a good warm-up match. I should change the title now. Jay Blaze, what makes you think I want to update the wishboard? I'm perfectly happy with the wishboard as is. Now, I said there are some things I might consider, and there are some things I'd be thinking about going forward, but I played exactly one game of New Standard with Clover. I'm definitely not going to be on wishboard update mode yet. This hand's a little too weak, on the draw especially. I'm pretty happy mulliganing this. Ew. Alright, this is also not great, but I'm not going to 5, so we're gonna hope to get some stuff to help me bridge into escape. Kevlar Man, there are both types of games. Sometimes you have a million mana but would like more cards. Sometimes it's the reverse. At least if this is Gruul Lovestart Beast can hold him off for a little bit. Maybe. Maybe they'll also waste a stomp on this token. Ew, alright, so many lands later. Bit of attack before doing that. Yeah, PTH, we'll see if we're alive by then. We do need to get like another spell or two if we're going to survive to that point, or we could have our opponent disconnect and lose. Both options are reasonable. This is yet another example of a hand where, well, in this case, a temple would have been nice to draw at some point. If I had a triumph here, would also be fine. All right, got stomped, no surprises. Oh, okay. Clover Mirror. Well, I guess that means that it's less likely I get run over, and chat, y'all get to see a Clover Mirror. That's cool. I have a feeling our opponent's hand is probably better than my hand. Just a feeling, but, you know, maybe they'll give us some time. Maybe they don't have a Beanstalk Giant to get 2 islands. Ooh, putting my foot right in my big fat mouth, chat. The mirror is really fun when both players have spells. If you don't have spells, the mirror is not very fun. I don't expect us to win this one. Right on time, Beanstalk Giant. Right on time. Exactly the turn that I wanted to draw you. Couldn't have asked for a better turn to draw Beanstalk Giant in this game. Just absolutely the best. Love it. Perfect. No complaints. But if our opponent doesn't have an escape, or a Fae, we maybe get to do something here. With Escape the Wilds, all things are possible. Edgewell Keeper is bad news, though. Nissa who shakes the world. Alright, that is unclear news. Alright, well that'll be really bad if it gets to happen. I do not think Nissa is as good in Clover as some other options are. However, Nissa's gonna maybe accidentally look great here because we drew no spells. But remember, I don't know, in the Clover Mirror, Nissa just gets picked off real easy. Alright, well, we get to pick off Nissa next turn. I guess we'll see if that's too late. If the opponent has a Fae now, then Nissa lets them really go off. The Innkeeper and the Beanstalk and Suspension also really good. We'll see, we'll see. Gonna need to have some luck from here. Yeah, if that becomes standard, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I've always just wanted to draw more cards as opposed to making this much mana with a card that's this fragile. Especially with a format where people are, like, presumably ready for Nissa. Okay, shocks that in. Is it Fey? Is it a triple stomp? Okay, this feels like a bunch of stomps to me, but I'm still gonna make this trade. Feel like Lovestruck Beast does not accomplish very much with Beanstalk Giant on the board. Yep, sure, whatever. Ooh, we're gonna have to find that person on spikes and show everybody the truth at some point. All right, so Brazen Borrower could bail me out of this one. All right, they hadn't used the Nissa yet. Lovestruck Beast could maybe bail me out of this one. It's gonna probably have to be one of those, but Fey of Wishes. Okay, Fey of Wishes for Storm's Wrath. Clears a lot of stuff. Alright, that's gonna have to be the play. I am sad that I have to tap out for it and lose all this stuff. But I think that's what I have to do. Yeah, if I play Clover, I can't even stomp Nissa to death right now. I can stomp like some lands or whatever. Alright, so we're gonna have to abandon this other Clover and do the Hail Mary, hope my opponent had 2 lands on top, take a hit from Beanstalk and a land, and try to bail out from there. Here goes nothing. Yikes. Alright, so Storm's Wrath, please, and I will take another Escape to the Wilds as well, please. Thank you. Well, I don't think we're gonna get there, Jayblaze. I think we're gonna die if they attack us with all these creatures. I just don't think the Stomps and Edgewell Innkeeper blocking quite do it. I guess we get 2 blockers down. It's debatable. It's debatable. So opponent's got all the mana in the world. We lose to Fey of Wishes. We lose to... Don't lose to 3rd Lucky Clover, not yet at least. Don't lose to this Beanstalk Giant. Okay, this is actually a super winnable game. Opponent's about to be going off the top. We need this escape to be pretty good, but this is a winnable game. So, opponent's going to be able to hit us for 13. We need to kill them before they kill us, so we do have to think about applying pressure and not just playing defensively, because now Bone Crusher and Fey are both very lethal. Brazen Borrower are also likely to be very lethal at some point, because they can get rid of a lot of blockers at once. Okay, so this seems to be leaving about the colors I want up with a bit of an island in hand. Okay, that's a bunch of Brazen Borrowers, which is a good start to not dying. We only have the 1 Clover. Only the 1 Clover. This is tough. Alright, so we're just going to be assuming our opponent draws lands for a bit here, I think. Do I even want Borrower? Opponent's attacking with 4 things. I can go double token Lovestruck Innkeeper, eat a land, chump, chump, chump. Huh. If I bounce the Beanstalks, opponent gets to get the rest of the lands out of their deck, but that's fine, I think. No, Jayblaze. If you could bounce lands with Borrower, the card would be an absurd nightmare of a ban. It would have been banned in week 1 of the format. Way too good. Alright, so... don't think I'm gonna need the 5th mana here. Should have been a Triome. This is just me running out of time and being panicked. So we're gonna go with... tokens off the Lovestruck, Edgewell Innkeeper, and then we're gonna hold up a double bounce. We're gonna basically just need to hold back the Beanstalk Giants for a good long while. We are dead to lots of things. Ether Gust, Edgewell Innkeeper. Okay, that's not one of the things that kills me, and I will be putting that back on top. Love the main deck Ether Gust there from the opponent. Mirror, the best of 1 version of the deck is pretty much just a deck. You might want to put a Blazing Volley in the sideboard for Mono Red, but that's about it, honestly. It's pretty convenient. So opponent can replay a bunch of stuff. They might even be able to replay both giants. In fact, I'm pretty sure they can replay both giants. Depends on any basics they run, maybe. We're going to need to keep coming up with loads of blockers, but it's possible. Just need to get lucky and have them whiff on reasonable things for a couple of turns. But you can see that like Clovermere is weird like this, right? Like you'd think our opponent would be dominating us very heavily, but when both Clover decks kind of get their thing going, it becomes much more about who finds the particular combination of cards that is lethal than anything else. I also will note that the Scryland would have been better than the Triumph there because we could have Scryed last time we put that tap land in. Alright, so we'll start with Fae of Wishes. Start with Lovestruck Beast, because it can actually block a land and stay alive, which is a big deal. Drew a Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, that's something. Now we go with Fae of Wishes, and we're going to double bounce here. Draw a Forest. Alright, play the Island out. Go for a double bounce on the Giants. This is right at this point. Yeah, we can stomp one land, but we need to get rid of two creatures, and it makes more sense to bounce the Giants, I think, than the Nissa, because the Giants just eat everything they go through. Got a Brazen Borrower to flash in end of turn, which can start chipping away at our opponent's life total, which means they get closer to being dead to Fling. But we're also dead to a bunch of cards in their deck, and this is always the case, so I'm still expecting with all my heart to lose. Yeah, if this Nissa had been Escape to the Wilds, I feel like we would just be incredibly screwed. We would have lost this game a long time ago if this Nissa had been Escape to the Wilds and actually been able to draw through the rest of their deck. Edgewell and Keeper. Alright, that is beatable. We can stomp that before they get too many cards off it, which is cool. It's still painful. We are going to do it. And the question is, do we stomp Nissa or the opponent's face? Are we even going after Nissa with creatures ever? I think we just go face. I think we just want to accelerate the rate at which our opponent dies. We gotta get rid of Innkeeper here. We're gonna lose our own Innkeeper to Chumping, which is sad. We could still rip Escape or Fae. Expansion is still in. Yep, so Fae of Wishes is... Haven't done the count yet. Opponent drew a land. They should attack with all three lands here. Yeah, that's correct. They definitely want to force me to lose my Innkeeper. We can get Fae of Wishes back. The question is just when are we going to have time to do that. I guess there's a world where maybe getting Fae Wishes back to my hand that turn is right. It's tough, it's tough. Okay, so I can get Fae Wishes back. I can't get Escape to the Wilds anymore because you already wished for that. I've got access to 12 mana. 12 mana is enough to bring back Fae, wish twice, get once in future to get back Brazen Borrower and Lovestruck Beast, make 2 tokens, bounce 2 giants. That keeps me alive. No, that's 1 mana too much. That's 1 mana too much. Are there outs? Are there outs? Are there outs? If I just slam down a Beanstalk... Can't slam both. I can only put out 4 blockers. They're going to have 5 attackers, so I do need to get Fae of Wishes back. I don't have any dead bars. That's a good point. So I can get back Lovestruck and Innkeeper. I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do. We'll start by attacking with Fae. Not entirely sure this works. We're going to give it a shot here. So we have this much mana. Discarding Stomping Ground, Beanstalk. Still a ways away from winning with a Fling expansion, sadly. Throw out the Wish, see what I can grab. Oh, we're going to be pretty short. Wait, I can get Once in Future Unsummoned? Does that do it? No, we're still a blocker short. Does Shadow Spear do it? No, no way. I think this is Curtains, chat. I think this is Curtains.
I just want to ask you one thing. What's that? Is it for the group?
Patrick. Oh, you mean stomping the land to have it not be able to attack an Innkeeper. That's reasonable, Patrick. That's actually that was probably right. Unsummon Gust. There are 2 Beanstalk Giants in the battlefield. I'm being attacked by 4 creatures. Even if I Aether Gust Nissa, it's still going to be I can get Ether Gust unsummoned, but I'm being attacked by 4 creatures and I have 1 blocker. So yeah, I don't have any outs from here. My best attempt would have made 4 blockers, or an unsummon and 3 blockers to the attackers. No, stop calling it random combinations of cards, people. Look at the board. We're being attacked by 5 creatures, all of which are lethal. Unsummon expansion does not do anything, unfortunately. Still, the way that we kept it alive in the game for a while shows you some stuff. Alright, in the mirror... In the mirror, I like making some slight adjustments, especially against the Nissa version of the deck. I like having an Ether Gust or a Negate in. I think Ether Gust is the one I actually want. One of the most important things to do in the mirror is resolve Escape the Wilds. Delaying someone from having an escape for a little bit can be the difference between victory and defeat. The only question is, do I want Ether Gust or Negate? Negate gets rid of an escape permanently. Ether Gust is more flexible at getting rid of stuff. Let's see. But Borrower is definitely the worst card in the mirror. And the card I'm happiest to cut 1 copy of to get 1 counter in. I think I'll go with Negate. Seems weird to bring it in, but remember all the creatures in our decks are also spells. That's true, Kevlar-Man, that's also a consideration. I can see either being right. Alright, this is a reasonable hand. Anything that casts Escape the Wilds on turn 4 on the play, you keep. Worth noting that we won't be able to fetch any mountains with Beanstalk Giant later in the game. Alright, opponent's got the fast Innkeeper, love a Bone Crusher, Fae of Wishes is whatever, it'll be good later. To play Innkeeper out now or not, I think no. Next turn I can just Beanstalk for a forest, play Innkeeper then, and not give them a free stomp on turn 2. Solar Potato, the Mirror, if they draw better than you, is a bad matchup. As of now in Standard, I don't know the deck actually has any bad matchups. Sultai might be there, almost. Huh. Okay, well, gonna Beanstalk here. This smells like a stomp. I could also hold up Negate. No, that's silly. I'm not gonna do that. I'll just Beanstalk for an island. Could also be a Borrow, I suppose. Or maybe they're about to Ether Gust this? Nope, stomp my face. Wow. The impatience, chat, the impatience. That's okay, we get to teach our opponent a lesson. Yep, I mean, you should also just craft the deck because almost all the cards in this deck, like you've got Edgewell Innkeeper and Lucky Clover uncommons, Beanstalk Giant's an uncommon, and all the rares except for maybe Escape the Wilds are just great cards that you just want to play. Alright, so, this is faintly awkward. Do I escape or do I just Fae of Wishes for Storm's Wrath? No, it's gotta be escape here. Opponent does have a nice aggro star. We have to watch our life total. This is okay. This is okay. We could use some more blue mana, but Beanstalk Giant will help with that. Not but damn, Memory Theft would not be a very good counter to this deck. It's 3 mana, and at best, they've already cast a spell off of one of their adventures. Maybe it's good sideboard card in some spots, but the problem with adventures is usually that their spells happen twice as opposed to the creature coming down afterward. That part's like adding insult to injury. Clover, that's actually great news if they're not casting a 5/5 this turn. Maybe they have another stomp? Alright, we take those. Beautiful, and Lovestruck Beast is awesome. Lovestruck Beast is what's going to save us from being just run over. So the question is, do I go Clover, Beanstalk, Lovestruck, hold up Negate? Or do I go just Escape the Wilds? I think, given that I have 2 Faes in hand, I just want to start developing my mana and getting this Clover down. We're going to lose an Escape the Wilds, but that's okay, we can wish for another one. I guess this is where if our opponent boarded in Negate, they get us. Weed and Magic, this is your second warning. It's a it's a good habit to get out of. Alright, so Brazen Borrower, that's fine, whatever. So now do I want to hold negate? Opponent's got 4 lands, they would need to have land escape as the card in hand plus top of their library. So I'm just going to go get 2 islands, replay Clover, play a double token. And then we're just miles ahead. Getting hold negate's awesome, because really the opponent needs to get an escape to break through in this kind of position when they're down this far on mana. That's fine, we did magic, but just try to remember. Well, our opponent did make one mistake that ended up not costing him too much, but yeah, we'll see. Alright, well, these are all cute. Now I wish I had Blazing Volley. Oh, never mind. This is fine. So, yep. Big thing now is thinking, how do we lose from this position where we're miles ahead? So what I want to try to do is hold up negate at all times to make sure we don't accidentally lose. Mirror, nope, I have a full-time job. That's why I can afford to give half of my subscription money to charity. And why I'm only here a few hours a week. So Fae of Wishes can get, like, Ether Gust plus Escape. I think I just want my board presence to be actual board presence. It's possible that doing a Fae thing here is fine. I feel like Luis Salvato would use Fae of Wishes here. Luis Salvato loves Fae of Wishes. But hey, if we're going to draw another Clover and get better Faes later, I'll take that. So opponent's already gone through 2 stomps. We're not really at risk of getting burned out. We can counter another Clover, and we would counter another Clover. We'll counter an Escape. If our opponent wishes, we're going to counter one of the wishes. If opponent goes cast Bone Crusher Giant, we're going to not care about that. Lovestruck Beast, we also don't bother to counter. The board is in a perfectly fine state. We can wish for Storm's Wrath if we ever need to. So we kind of wasted 2 mana there, but it's fine. Opponent's just not getting anything out of these turns. Yeah, somewhere out there, there's somebody who's running into Tam Wham and being like, oh man, this Tam Wham guy, he's great. But that would be incorrect. Again, it's not a problem reading Magic. If you do it again, I will remind you again, and that's how it goes. I'm not going to kick you off the stream or anything. Alright, so now they've just got a Bone Crusher. I think I'm okay taking a hit off of this. Now I'm going to Fae. And I'll pick up... let's go with an Escape, of course, and probably Return to Nature. Probably Return to Nature. We've already got the Negate. If we didn't have Negate, I would be picking up Ether Gust or Disdainful Stroke right now for Escape. I think it's just Return to Nature. Kind of take out the resource they have one of already. Oh, it's both. Never mind, it's both. Okay. Storm's Wrath. Let's just go with... honestly, Once and Future. Let's just make sure they never resolve an Escape ever. Yeah, we've got stuff locked down. iPhone fan, hopefully. We'll see. We will see. What's funny is the opponent didn't even see me wish for a counterspell, so they might think they're about to resolve Escape to the Wilds. Beanstalk Giant. Alright, in response to that, I think I return Nature the Clover. They can't get Escape to the Wilds down. And there's nothing I care that much about negating. If it's Fae of Wishes, it's the only like 4 mana or less thing I would really care about negating, and Return Nature now effectively kills a Fae of Wishes. And just means if they happen to have a Heart Desire or something, or another Beanstalk in hand, that they don't get to leverage it. Yes, you can call Old Man Aaron Giahi. Sidro, there was a brief period where I wasn't playing much Clover, and Salvato was, and Salvato at that point was the best Clover player in the world. Salvato was very good at Clover. Other pros worth watching with the deck, Huey Jensen plays some with it. Not too frequently, but he's a very, very good player, so worth watching. And Autumn Burchett wrote the best written guide to Temur Clover on the internet. Also a standout Temur Clover player. Yeah, JFB, that's been my experience too. Also, Solar Potato, I missed your follow for a bit there, but thank you. Yeah, we are in California, Mir. So it's semi-neutral. Opponent is looking kind of disconnected. Yeah, also worth noting that somebody named Scarlatti with a Vivian avatar is maybe less likely to be going by he than the average arena player. Alright, opponent has disconnected. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna burn a timeout to give him time to come back. I feel like that was not a disconnection of concession because they're still up a game in the match. So I'm gonna wait here at least until I burn through one timeout before I start making plays.
My internet was crashing a bunch 6 times in one game. It's going through something weird. I don't think it's our internet.
Alright, well thanks for the info, Tammy. Yeah, Drunken Vike, this is the right time. Mir, if you look for Autumn Burchett, Temur Clover, I bet you'll find it. But if someone provides the link, that would be some brownie points for you as well in the stream. Come back, opponent, come back. A little sad we can't see when they've reconnected. Zweckdog, what are you repealing these days? I just don't know what you're repealing that he's so good that it's not better to have Return to Nature. Anax, there we go. Best of 1 for Anax is an acceptable explanation. Alright, we've given our opponent 1 timeout's worth of time. Are they dead to Fae? Yeah, they're just dead to Fling Expansion, so I'm just going to cast Beanstalk Giant this turn. Alright, opponent's back. Good. So better play to seal up the game, would have been probably escape there, but I think we're pretty safe just killing our opponent next turn from what we've seen. Thanks for posting, Tammy. So y'all see the importance of drawing cards here. Opponent had, if anything, a better start. They had a bunch of aggressive stuff going on, and our hand was kind of slow. But we had Escape the Wilds, they did not have Escape the Wilds, and that is what tends to determine these games. As long as both players are paying attention to the board and kind of managing resources well. Whatever you want. Okay, opponent might have actually disconnected. Alright, there may just be no coming back for the opponent here. We tried. So with negate backup, I feel very secure going for Fling Expansion. Jim Carroll, hey, thanks for the 5-month subscription. Old reliable subscriber. You're also pretty good. PB, we're trying 1 Great Henge main. I don't know whether I like that more than Of One Mind on the whole. Tito, I have produced dozens upon dozens of hours worth of Clover video content, and I've written a lot of articles about it on Reddit, so I would recommend looking for my Reddit profile, which is the same name as me on Twitch, or just checking out my YouTube channel. Searching Aaron Gertler YouTube will get it there. I have an unusual name. Past that, you could also check out Autumn Burchett's article, which was linked right just a bit earlier in the stream. Or Jason Florent's article, I believe, for MTGA Zone is also quite a good introductory article. Might even be the best. Might even be the best like intro article for somebody who's just picking up the deck, while Autumn's maybe goes a bit more advanced. Okay, Mythic has more people in it than I realized. Cool, cool. Yeah. This is the kind of hand that could go horribly wrong if my opponent's got like a control deck going, but it's just full of reasonable magic cards against most decks. Weed and Magic, have I played against Salvato? Yes, I actually did play Mirror against Salvato. It was quite a thrill ride. I won very narrowly. Alright, so I'm gonna keep this 1-1 around here, see what our opponent goes for. Against a Goblin Banneret deck, I feel very, very good about the triple Bone Crusher Giant to keep. With the note that we are still going to have a hard time against Ember Cleave if our opponent pulls one out. Do I trade my 1-1 with this Banneret? I mean, I guess so? I feel like attacking with Lovestruck Beast is not going to be super necessary here. Mir, I think Escape to the Wilds is... You always want to draw one, and my rule of thumb for you always want to draw one is 3 copies. If you know, you always want to draw one, you never want 2 in your opening hand. I feel like 3 copies is pretty much the sweet spot. So I'm definitely into it. So here's where the opponent could stomp their own Banneret and get my Bone Crusher if they wanted to. Does not seem like that's what's happening. We'll get in the chip, and it really feels like my opponent's holding up a burn spell or something. Like I'm gonna cast Bone Crusher, I smell like a stomp. I guess not. I guess they just had no 2-drop. That was a weird set of things. Okay, so now we have a choice. We could either stomp the Legion War Boss or play Lovestruck Beast. The only slight problem with playing Lovestruck Beast is that our opponent could cast Ember Cleave next turn. Like if they have land, War Boss makes a token, they attack, they can get a Cleave down. Lovestruck Beast still does trade with Legion War Boss though, and then they've got a single token against me hitting them pretty hard with double stomp backup. They might also just scoop to stomp, that's possible. The thing about Lovestruck Beast is it means I get 2 stomps next turn, which means even if they have the cleave, I can kill their token and then whatever next creature they play. So I'm gonna go Lovestruck this turn. Spoojum, I mean, it's not so much a reasoning against Adventurous Impulse as like, why am I playing the cards I'm particularly playing? Great Henge is just here to test it. It's a brand new format, and I figured I might as well try a card that I've tried before. Of One Mind, I think in Clover it's just so frequently the case that every single card matters. Because you have lots of stuff to do with your mana, you want lots of lands, but you also want lots of spells, of course. So I'm very into drawing cards, and drawing 2 cards for 1 mana is about the best rate you can get in Standard. Alright, now I'll go ahead and kill both the War Boss Eye. Well, Weed Magic Uro doesn't seem like it should bother us too much now with Tormod's Crypt being around. And the upside of One is really good. Although, if you wanted to play Scorching Dragonfire, it could work for a very aggro meta. But yeah, there are lots of potential good choices for flex slots. I think it's gonna depend on whatever the meta is on that day, and ahead of time, it's hard to really judge any one choice as being that much worse than any other one choice. Okay, so opponent's on some kind of red aggro deck. In for main deck Storm's Wrath, I suppose. I'm gonna cut Of One Mind, because it's a little slow. And really don't have any idea how. Guess I should just bring in some other cheap stuff. We'll keep Unsummon as a cheap wish target. We'll bring these in. We'll cut to escape. Cool. Okay. Jolrael, very cute. I think there's like a version I think there's an interesting Temur deck you could try to play that plays like Innkeeper, all the good 3-drop adventure creatures, Dorail, and then a bunch of other ways to trigger Dorail, including Of One Mind, because Dorail is great with Of One Mind. But I think that's a different sort of deck than we're running right now. Alright, well this hand is shaping up nicely, I would say. Hey there, Tiki. Rum Tea. So far, we're running pretty roughshod, I would say. So they could play a decent 2-drop post-combat, but they could also play Let Up the Stage. I think I'm pretty just going for melee here. This is looking pretty good, but remember that people actually do have artifact removal in their sideboards again. So if this Lucky Clover gets Embereth Shield Breakered, you know, things could get tricky. Oh, it's just Goblin Tribal with Winota. I see, that's cute. Okay, well, gonna play Lucky Clover, hope they don't have a way to remove it, and we win if they don't remove it. If they can remove it, things get trickier. If they had Legion Warboss there, things would have been iffy, because they might have gotten at least one attack with Winota, but as is, feeling pretty good about the way... Oh, never mind. Okay. Opponent getting off some smooth moves here for sure. Rum Tea, bringing in Wilt from the sideboard against Monogreen for, like, Stone Coil? You have Brazen Borrower for that. Alright, so if the opponent has 4th land, things get kind of tight. I'm going to go with 1 token this turn. They're not going to trade off Red Cap. They do have a 4th land, though, so I'm going to need to do token. Basically going to kill their Snoop. If they want Winota trigger, they have to attack with Red Cap, and we kill Red Cap, and then they have to hit. I'm going to pause on their upkeep to maybe kill Snoop, depending on what's on top of their deck. It's Crater Maker. Alright, opponent came ready for Clovers. The opponent is ready for Clovers. So yeah, I think I'm just going to stomp the Snoop here, so they don't get a free Crater Maker off of it. And also, it's at least 1 non-human card that Winota can see. Yeah. Alright, that's cute. Opponent can kill my token, but that means they don't play Winota this turn, which means I could actually bounce Winota, which seems great for me. Oh, wait, that means my Bone Crusher goes away. Alright, that was clever, but I'm still pretty happy they didn't play Winota this turn. Still, that was interesting. Didn't see it coming. Could I get an untapped land, please? Storm's Wrath. Okay, well, I guess that's our plan then. The extremely suspicious Beanstalk for 2nd Mountain say go. Let's see if our opponent ascertains what we're up to. Osri's Lieutenant. Ooh, okay. Opponent's very sneakily playing around the Storm's Wrath, although, to be fair, they wouldn't have to be sniping to know that this is Storm's Wrath. Okay, so I cast Steam Vents, I go to 11. Actually, wait, no, this is just this. This is Steam Vents, Lovestruck Beast, hold up Brazen Borrower. Go ahead. Winota's still not looking all that special. Crater Maker's in. You know, this is fine. Opponent can't actually attack past me right now. So if they want to be doing this kind of thing, I am into it. I guess they could attack with Red Cap and sack Crater Maker to punch through Lovestruck Beast. At which point I just bounce their Basri's Lieutenant, they don't get a Knight, and they have 2 4-drops in hand, and I resolve Escape to the Wilds and I win. Alright, this is fine. Do I bounce something now? I think I'm pretty into doing a bounce on the... Oh wait, we totally bounce now. We just get rid of the Weaselback Red Cap and then we wrath their board. Jeez, this deck is good, chat. Jeez, this deck is good. How is this deck so good, chat? Like, we don't have to wrath their board, we can wrath their board now, and they get nothing. Oh, they could sack Crater Maker to kill Lovestruck, that's actually sad. Alright, let's just escape then. They can Winota get 1 Winota hit if they want to. If I had 2 lands, one of which is blue, I get to borrow Winota anyway. That is butter smooth, chat. And yes, I think Sultai Ramp is probably the worst, like, predictable matchup we have at the moment. And now the opponent's in a place where they really can't play around Storm's Wrath anymore, which is awkward for them. So at this point, I'm just going to bounce the Crater Maker, because I can sweep up Winota with Storm's Wrath next turn. Opponent gets no Winota triggers. And that's probably going to be game, especially with a backup borrower. Am I playing Triumph or I'm just playing the other Lovestruck this turn? They have a Crater Maker to kill a token. So I think I just go for you into you into... Alright, main deck Storm's Wrath really coming through for us there. Oh wow, double robber. Cute. Okay, well. These try to attack, we're bouncing one of them, which will mean that neither of them triggers, which is great. I guess that's the thing you get with Winota. Definitely not impressed by like Winota as engine to get 2/2s into play, especially then, since they don't even get the attack triggers. Opponent just looking exquisitely dead to Beanstalk Giants at this point. I mean, Snoop's a perfectly reasonable card in this deck, right? You gotta... It's like a 2/2 non-human that occasionally draws you a card. Could be worse. I assume we're gonna see Crater Maker take out a 1/1 here. Okay. Don't worry, Wade Magic. I've got my Embercleave goggles on. Mostly I've got Beanstalk Giants. Good game, opponent. Good game. Alright. It is a 2/2 that makes the mana harder. I guess I couldn't be sure if they were like mostly red with a bit of white. Kurama and Cutes. Sorry I missed both of your follows there, but thanks for following the stream. Solar Potato, Casualties of War. Casualties of War slows Clover right the heck down. Vraska kills Clovers, has incidental value at other times. Just like artifact removal generally. Just playing some Emberth Shield Breakers. Kurama, I love being here wrecking with the deck. Feels very good. Oh my goodness!
Rumty.
Well, hey, Rumty. Good luck. Alright, this is gonna be fun. I think Rumty plays mono green.
They were just asking about how to beat you.
Alright, this is gonna be interesting. This hand is pretty bad against Clover. It's fine against mono green. Really fine against mono green with no 1-drop. Oh, baby. Got a Barkide Troll, got a Scavenging Ooze, got a Barkide Troll. Not bad, not bad. That won't get stomped to death. Not bad. Alright, we have drawn a lot of islands. Goodness gracious. Soul Pass. This is interesting. We're going to have to race the mono green deck. Just gonna have to race the mono green deck, but it's plausible. We can do it. Maybe. Hey, Rumty's sitting in our spot. We've got to teach Rumty a lesson. Oh, Stonecoil for 1. That's cute. Alright, I don't think I'm letting that trade with Borrower here. That should have been end of turn, but I'm honestly kind of glad it didn't come down bigger, because if it came down bigger, then we'd have a problem. None of that, please. First Blood. I think Tammy was the most excited person on the planet Yagi Bombs. I'd have to give that award to Tammy. Alright, what do you got? Yorvo? Big V? Primal Might? Pelt Collector, sure. Scoos? You scoos, you lose. Okay, so we stomping out the Pelt Collector or the scoos? It is the scoos here, pretty sure. Because that can actually get reasonably large, and this is very much... Whoop, don't hit the Pelt Collector yet. Don't hit the Pelt Collector yet. There we go. Almost timed that poorly. Thanks, Muzak Media. It's appropriate given your name. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Now we're talking about draws. Now we're talking... Alright, Vivian Arco Ranger is in. I assume that Rumty's going to make a big Barkide Troll and be pretty disappointed at how the next turn goes. Kill Broad Crusher would be a bold play. Yes, that play makes much more sense. And attacks. Okay, okay. Innkeeper is just absolutely the perfect draw. Could not have asked for anything better. Pretty sure the plays just kill Vivian. We could put our opponent to 7. Could put the opponent to 7. But I don't like the idea of an active Vivian on the board, and our 2 Brazen Borrowers only put them to 1. So let's just go with Bounce the Troll. Basically, the biggest thing it can send at me here is a Questing Beast. Kill Vivian. We're just going to take it nice and easy with the Edgeland Keeper available. No reason. It's just... I guess technically I could have waited to see if I drew anything, but I don't think there was any 2-drop I would have drawn that would have changed my plans. But yeah, I should have waited.
I meant like on their turn.
Oh, they have mana up to give it hexproof. Barkide Troll. This deck loved me, Rizaleo. Yes, I did do that twice on the same stream at one point. Alright, Quib. Quib doesn't even attack. Which seems wrong? No. Anyway, take 11, please. Oh, you love to see that Questing Beast forced block. Goodbye, Rumty. Mirror, Escape to the Wilds is the easy card decided against Mono-Red. Speaking of which...
But what do you side again?
Oh, what do you... Well, he... Mirror asked what he would side out.
Okay.
Yes. Alright, so, things to do here. What do we bring in, what do we bring out? So... Definitely want to treat this kind of like... Mono-Red in a lot of ways, except for... My individual Innkeepers are going to live more often. Definitely want an Ether Gust in. They're very fast. We're not going to have a lot of time to do wishing stuff. I think Unsummon might be a good enough wish target that I want to keep it out here. Return Nature snipes Stonecoil Serpents, which is pretty cute. But I don't think enough utility to bring it in. It's easy to imagine draws they have where this is just dead. Storm's Wrath coming in seems actually pretty good. Similar, it's like going to be good on most boards against them. Gonna cut 2 escapes. The question is, should I cut a Great Henge? Lovestruck Beast trades a lot in this matchup because it kind of you play it and then they send a Questing Beast into it. It's a very common line. And Great Henge is really miserable to have stuck in your hand if you don't have a... And the life gain doesn't matter as much because you don't tend to lose to burn spells or something. You tend to lose just being absolutely run the crap over. I think I cut Henge, and I think I bring in, like, maybe Primal Might here. Shadow Spear, melee. Let's say Primal Might being kind of reasonable. Try it like that. Yeah, maybe you're right there, Kevlar-Man. Maybe you're right. On the draw, Escape seems really, really sketchy. I played Ugin for a little bit, and then I think quickly came to the conclusion that I didn't think it was all that important. Okay, opponent not starting with a Pelt Collector is always a blessing. Double Innkeeper is also pretty nice. Let's go. Primal Might? Ooh, Rumty is having none of it. Rumty is having none of it. I dig, I dig. Fave Wish is actually pretty nice. Would not mind drawing a card with that if we whip on lands next turn. Although I guess we'll probably just stomp the token if Rumty plays Lovestruck Beast. Oh my goodness, another Primal Might? Oh my goodness, chat. Alright, we're kind of getting gotten here. That does mean this Lovestruck Beast is going to stick around for a long time. Gatria Triome, how I wish you were a Scryland. How I wish you were a Scryland. I'm just going to hold Bone Crusher here, I think. I could play Fave Wishes. Fave Wishes is not a bad blocker here. The question is, am I just going to definitely want to Bone Crusher this 1-1 at some point so the Lovestruck Beast can't attack? They also might just have Scavenging Ooze next turn. Yeah, I think they could even try to throw Gem Razor on this token if they're desperate. They probably won't do that if I'm only up 2 mana, though. I'll wait. I think I'd rather Stomp. I think... Let's see, Stone Coil for 2. All sorts of things. I am glad we have the 1 escape here, although with 2 Fays alongside it, maybe less glad. Yeah, Muzak, that's actually a reasonable thought. I probably do want to cut like 2 Fays here. Yeah, can't Gem Razor Human, also a good point. I've been out of standard for a while. Alright, it's just Lovestruck, so we'll do the thing that Rumty knew we were going to do. Yeah, fewer Fade targets, etc. Fade's a good one to bring out. Alright, Lucky Clover. Gem Razor's a thing, but Gem Razor on Lovestruck Beast just means it can't attack? I feel like this is probably worth going for, given that we have the 2 Chump Blocker tokens. Also just makes Beanstalk Giant off the top much better, that sort of thing. Alright, just Insta Gem Razor, can't let this Lucky Clover sit around, but... Haha, Rumty. Alright, well, now we have Lovestruck Beast, which is a 5/5, nice Gem Razor. And all I see here is my hand developing in a way that hopefully helps me survive, just long enough to start doing Escape to the Wilds things. Vivian Arcbow Ranger. This is not going to work out well for Rumty. This is not going to work out well for our friend Rumty. Yeah, 1/4 is not a great blocker against this deck. It's okay. It's not great. Alright, and... I think I do just play a Fae this turn. I just don't see us in any match, in any way this game goes, ever having time to do 2 of them. So it may look a bit weird, but it helps me apply a bit more pressure. It's just a blocker. You never know when that might turn out to be handy. And there's the breeding pool, which I believe means it is time to go on a little trip. Note that we could also Fave Wishes for an unsummon if we really wanted to stop this Lovestruck Beast from attacking for some reason. Oh, look, look, chat, it's of One Mind. It's of One Mind, chat. Yay, of One Mind. And thanks for the command, Sammy. I was going to do that after the stream. Alright, any reason not to attack with Fave Wishes? I don't think so. Opponent plays Questing Beast or something. I just want to chunk their Lovestruck with a token. They don't have flyers. I guess they could have Primal Might, but that's not going to give Trample. Okay, so I have Primal Might in hand, but I still think I'm perfectly happy giving up the Lovestruck Beast here. It's like, I'm going to win the long game at this point. And Primal Might, we have enough mana to make Primal Might a pretty reasonable fight spell in general. Yeah, there is some argument for doing the block here. To keep Primal Might more alive. This is tricky. This is tricky. Yeah, let's actually try this. Let's try this. You know, this is still testing. Ladder is testing. So we're gonna do the slightly more unusual play and see how it goes. MTG Flutter. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the stream. I think it's up in the air. There are some ways in which it's better, some ways in which it's not as good. Okay, so this turn I would like to Fae of Wishes, Borrower, Primal Might, probably something like that. Let's go with wishing for something. We'll make it a... Ooh, I can get the Great Henge. Great Henge. If my Lovestruck Beast gets killed, this is a little sad, but I have a Beanstalk Giant to follow up. Is that too greedy? Is that too greedy? Could get Shadow Spear. Let me just grab Shadow Spear, I think. I think it's basically functionally equivalent to the Great Henge. And less has fewer ways it doesn't work out. And then I'm going to borrow the 1/1, and I think Primal Might the Ooze. I think I'm Primal Mighting the Ooze here. I think this is the first time I've ever cast the card Primal Might. Yep, so my life total is quite safe. I've got the Shadow Spear. Primal Might killing Lovestruck Beast could make things slightly awkward for us. Although now, am I down to trade? Am I still chump blocking? The chump block I can't attack with the beast, but I don't really want to attack with it too much. This is probably just another chump until I get Shadow Spear down. Oh, actually, if I block, I can't wish for Storm's Wrath. That's in my main deck right now. Yeah, at this point I'll trade. I have a Beanstalk Giant. Let's just trade. Weird sequence there. It could easily have been the case that some of my blocks were wrong in those spots. And cool. So we get to play around Primal Might pretty well with Brazen Borrower. So I think I just developed my board a bit here. Let's see. If I Beanstalk, I go to functional 6, 7 mana this turn. So... no, 6 mana this turn, so I can go Beanstalk, Bone Crusher, Shadow Spear, hold Borrower. That seems fine. But also just Fae. Fae is like kind of about as good a blocker as Bone Crusher is here anyway. But that doesn't really give me any advantages. Yeah, let's go Bone Crusher. Play Spear, maybe Spear gets killed, but that's fine. I've got Wish for Escape and a Beanstalk Giant. And if their plan to kill it is with Gem Razor... won't be able to Brazen Bar at that point, so we'll see. We'll see. If they have Gem Razor, things will get tricky here, since the Bar card Troll is protected at this point. I can also just double block it. Alright, so another Gem Razor. Alright, that's kind of what I was afraid of, so... that was how we get punished, but we also would have got punished for Henge, and I still don't see them beating Beanstalk Giant. Super down to double block here. What's the card that blows us out? Is it Ranger's Guile? If it's Ranger's Guile, we just have Brazen Borrower, so... this attack is a little confusing. I guess it's to grow the Pelt Collectors? Huh. Alright. Deal. Could borrow a Pelt Collector, but I prefer just, like, make sure that there's no, like, Primal Might shenanigans stuff that could happen. So I think I'm just casting Beanstalk Giant and telling Rumty, good luck. Oh, we had a clover weed. We had a clover. It died. As clovers do. So if Beanstalk Giant goes unblocked, we just get Fling. And that's game. Okay, opponent never really had a true nut draw, but I feel like we showed what Clover can do there. I like the way that the Innkeepers forced double Primal Might early, so they didn't get to develop the board too well. Really nice match, really nice match. MTG Flutter, Pete Arrest, Putinanny, thank you all for following. Obviously that was a pretty intense match, but catching up to you now. What is it? Shout out Rumty, I think? Yeah, good games, Rumty. Clover is a bit oppressive, sorry. Moyashi, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Blind Guardian, that's what it's all about. Ooh, interesting. I will keep. If my opponent's playing an aggro deck, we do just get to cast Fae of Wishes on turn 2, which makes this a salvageable hand, I would say. And then Beanstalk into turn 4, Escape is also pretty good. Alright, so opponent may also be playing Clover, in which case we have a Borrower to bounce a Clover on turn 2. That's what comes down. Maybe it's Flash, maybe it's Flash. Flash probably wouldn't play Ketria Triome, but they might. Stomp me end of turn? Okay, Flash it is. Glad we have these Brazen Borrowers. Alright, Tammy sniffed out the Flash player. We have no Innkeepers, but there's a Clover. Unless they have main deck Mystical Dispute, they're not countering this. They could borrow it, which is fine. Alright, here it comes. Show me if you have Mystical Dispute, I guess. Or Negate, they could have Negate. Probably Brazen Borrower, at which point I just borrow their Cutthroat. Spectral Sailor. Alright, that is gonna mean that you are tapped out, opponent, so I am just gonna take advantage of your lack of blue mana and say goodnight to both of these. Alright, time to see if our opponent's running main deck Gemraiser for that Spectral Sailor. Pseudo-Nemesis, Calm Dark, thanks for following. Great to have you here as we munch on an old favorite food of Temur Clover, the blue-green Flash player. Oh man. I kind of just want to resolve Escape this turn, like while the resolving's good. Like sometimes it's good to Beanstalk before escaping, but I think we'll have plenty of time to play out all the stuff we get. So how's about we just do that? It's just the hardest spell to resolve in this matchup, so if you get to resolve one, it's a good one. It's a good one. Sailor's down, so we're dropping to 13 here, maybe. Okay, opponent's only at 5 mana, which is an interesting number for this deck. I guess they just don't want Paradise Druid to get stomped on by the very obvious stomp we have here. So I think this turn is just going to be playing out Escape into the obvious Frilled Mystic. And then we double stomp Sailor Mystic. This way they can't really play Ambusher, or they end up looking very silly.
Yeah,
Rewind. Oh right, I forgot about that card. That card exists. Okay, sure. We still get a bunch of card advantage though. So I can now just pass. If they can either, basically they have to do something on a turn. If they waste, they can make me waste my cards, but they have to waste their mana. Which is awesome for me. So I'm just gonna like kind of hang out, see what my opponent wants to do, and this is fun. We get to do the whole like, well, are you gonna do something or are you not gonna do something game? I feel like they're gonna do something. It really, really hurts to not do anything. Brazen Borrower on Clover. Okay. And I believe that is my cue to stomp. You know what? If I stomp Sailor, they get down Cutthroat. But I think that's fine. My life total is still pretty high. They could also get down Borrower, but I don't care too much about that. So now I think it's too risky that if I let them get the Clover, they just like pass back to my turn. I'm out of stuff. We're going to see about hitting up the Sailor. And they can get Cutthroat or Borrower down. But we're still at a pretty healthy life total. It's possible the escape play this turn was wrong. I hadn't thought about Rewind. That's like a new card for these decks. And given they play 4 Ambusher, 4 Mystic, a lot of them don't play that many Rewind. Had I known about Rewind, I think I would have maybe handled that turn differently and just try to get more raw material on the board. That said, as far as raw material goes, I think we're doing just fine. So we're going to go Clover this time. I guess this could get Frilled Mysticked. This could get Frilled Mysticked, I guess. Interesting. Did I just play some creatures? Maybe I'll just play some creatures this turn and just kind of chill. I'm down for creatures and chill, I think. Yeah, interesting. Opponent's playing this well, actually. It's been awkward to have the right interaction against them. If I play Clover, they play Mystic. I play Bone Crusher, I play Borrower. Basically got 4 cards in hand, therefore... Nah, Clover plus Fae is just way too good to let that happen, so I'm just gonna Bone Crusher here. See if that baits a Mystic. They know I have a Clover in hand, so they may not want to do it. Nope, they didn't want to do it. Cool. So now I think I just pass and hold up Borrower plus a bounce, a Petty Theft. They cast Nightpack Ambusher, I can bounce it. There's Nightpack Ambusher, now we know about that, sure. So this is getting borrowed. Clover is very good against flash decks. Innkeeper is how you absolutely dominate them, but usually Clover itself is good enough. So now we actually have a little bit more aggressive pressure than the opponent does. Unless they have another Rewind, they can't really counter my stuff and play Ambusher. Also, if we ever draw Innkeeper, we basically win the game on the spot. Super happy to trade here. We've also just got like an 8-8 sitting in our zone here, a 9-9, whatever. So at this point, I'm going to go attack with Bone Crusher first, and then I'll play Clover. And if they bite on the Clover with a Mystic, I just get to resolve Beanstalk Giant. They're able to like have lots of interaction here, but the cost of that is they have no mana because they have no card advantage. So play Clover first, maybe pretending that we don't have land for the Beanstalk Giant. This gets Frilled Mystic, 0 surprises there. Now we cast Beanstalk Giant, and Beanstalk Giant is going to make them lose a creature every turn. They can't afford to take any hits from it. They finally found a land, so they could have like Borrow plus Ambusher, but this just doesn't really solve the problem. They are getting to kind of a low life total. Let's see, if they have like another Frilled Mystic, this is bad. If they have exactly another Frilled Mystic in hand. I think I start here with Fae of Wishes. I have 9 lands in play, so I can't Fae and Giants if they have another Frilled Mystic. I'll do this. See if they bite on it. If they do play Mystic, I can just play another Beanstalk. And if they don't, I now get to go with Wish for Red Cap Melee, which kills Ambusher, and then resolve a Borrower, which puts more offensive pressure on them, which I like a lot. I think it's too risky that we just get creamed by Frilled Mystic if they have it here. This provides good coverage, I think, against a lot of things they could do. Cool, so now I could get Sustainful Stroke as well. That doesn't cover Brazen Borrower as well. I think I take melee. And do I shock in to get down Borrower this turn? I don't think so. I don't think so. I could just play Fae now, I guess. Let's play Fae. If they have Frilled Mystic now, it's awkward. But I kind of am thinking they don't if they didn't counter the Wish. Just Brineborn Cutthroat, okay. Maybe followed by a Quench. I guess if this is a Quench... Oh, Essence Scatter, okay, cool. So, opponent's got some critters. We're still at a safe life total. Opponent's almost out of cards in hand. And now we basically have to try and win with a bunch of Beanstalk Giants. The Beanstalk Giants meaning that Fae of Wishes is lethal at any point, and Edgewell Innkeeper is also effectively lethal at any point. Okay, perfectly satisfied to trade here. It's tough, it's tough. If they have like another counter, things could get interesting. The Great Henge. That's an interesting card, speaking of interesting cards. Okay, here's Mr. Bean. Is there a way I can have 2 blue open after doing this? As well as 1 red. Blue, red... Yeah, this works. Okay. Actually doesn't, whatever. Got 1 more counterspell, opponent? Nope, okay. How about now? So this dog gets around Quench. Mystical Dispute still works. Alright, that's very good. That's very good. So now I can play Borrower, and I have Red Cap melee up still. Playing the Stomping Ground seems worthwhile, given that I do get Borrower down here. I go to 2, I go back to 4 off of Henge. They play Borrower. They can't kill me with a Borrower attack, and I have a melee if they attack with both ground creatures. So I will shock in here. We'll see if maybe I get punished for this. Pass the turn here, see what the opponent wants to go for. Brazen Borrower. Alright, so they need like another interactive spell on top of this for me to care. Like an Essence Scatter there would not actually have done it, though. An Essence Scatter would not have done it. So we've got the removal spell, we've got a blocker, we've got more life than any of their creatures has power. You'd need like 2 Brazen Borrowers in hand to win this one. Alright, glad to hear it, Rumty, glad to hear it. Oh, Shark Typhoon. Okay, that's... Well, it's a close one, that's a close one. It's one I gotta think about, too. This was not in Blue-Green Flash last time I was playing a lot of Clover. So, if they just attack, we just block the 2/3 power creatures and live. Right, yeah. Gonna hold up this Red Cap melee. I'm okay going to 1 because I have the Great Henge in play. And a Borrower in hand. Oh, I haven't been watching chat for a while, Weed. I have not been watching chat for a while. This has been way too much of a thinky-think game. Watching streams. Thanks for the follow. Deadline Dubs, Nooble Soup, Ashzor, Verbalkint, Pseudonemesis? Forget if I said hi to you already, but thanks for following. Oh, opponent has finally revealed their last card, and it's Paradise Druid, the Blue-Green Flash story. Chunk. Pistol, Peter Russell, thanks for the follow. Bone Crusher can stomp. A Paradise Druid, which seems good. Shark's only 1 power. In case they have, I don't know, something that needs mana, like a random one of Krasis in the deck or something. Not that that's common, but you never know. Alright, pretty sure we've got coverage against everything now. I can attack. Nah, I'm not going to attack here. Everyone's going to play Nightpack Ambusher, which I am going to Red Cat melee on their second main, probably? Let's see. So the opponent's only haste creature they could possibly have here would be like Nissa. Whatever, I'll just kill the wolf now. I don't care about counter spells at this point. We're too far ahead for that. Alright. The opponent does have a Ketria Triome in play. Maybe they just stomp us now and we lose. There you are. Took you a while, buddy, but I'm glad you're here. Oh, we're also just going to win with attacking, huh? Given that we have a Brazen Borrower, unless the opponent has a... Nope, Nightpack Ambusher doesn't do it. It needs to be like Rhineborn Cutthroat. Ooh, another Brazen Borrower. Very cute, opponent. Very cute. If we didn't have the interaction there, we would be in some trouble, but we do have interaction, and more interaction besides. So let's just show our opponent that this is over. They fought hard. They fought hard. Don't need to attack with this next turn. We'll just play it as a draw 2 cards effect. Neat. Just gonna play some more creatures here. Having a second flyer. Alright, we'll show some mercy and end the turn. Nope, we are Carnage. I don't think you need it. I think if you're in the position of wishing and having 8 additional mana to spend, you can find another way to win the game. At some point it could be proven wrong. This is a new format, and I'll be the far from it. I forget the expression. I shouldn't say that I know everything about the correct sideboarding strategy, or correct wishboard strategy for Clover of the Moon. A couple of these cards are ones that I'm experimenting with, like Primal Might. But I am pretty comfortable in saying that I don't think you need Ugin. I feel like there are other kind of expensive cards that are maybe better in that spot, like Discontinuity or Sublime Epiphany, that sort of thing. But I could be wrong. Alright, this matchup. Great Henge seems hellaciously difficult to resolve. I think that is a better cut than Escape the Wilds. It does have the benefit of being a bit cheaper later in the game. That last game we played was really atypical. Usually it doesn't come down to Beanstalk Giants. Briblick, Radha is like a main deck card. I really think having another 3-drop is not what you want. You have 16 cards that cost 3 mana already, effectively, counting Beanstalk Giant. And I think you just want something that fits in your curve better than Radha. Though she certainly is a powerful card. Alright. Sideboarding against this deck, I would like Disdainful Stroke, I believe, over the Great Henge. And probably an Ether Gust over an Escape the Wilds here. Just a little bit more interaction for an Nightpack Ambusher, their scariest card. Since the games that you actually lose to Blue-Green Flesh almost always come down to a Nightpack Ambusher. Yeah, this hand will do the trick. Hey there, watching. Having a great stream here. I don't actually think we've lost a match on stream yet. And we are currently beating the tar out of Blue-Green Flash, as is right and proper. You got a Paradise Druid? They had a Paradise Druid. Oh, look at that Paradise Druid. Oh wow, do I resolve Edgewelling Keeper or Lucky Clover? I'll resolve Lucky Clover. Because then next turn I can resolve Lucky Clover and Edgewelling Keeper. So opponent's threatening Nightpack Ambusher right now. I could just hold up Ether Gust for that. Let's see. Few options. I could just go... Magic, thanks for the host. Yeah, I think I like Love Struck Beast plus to Ether Gust here. Basically want to hold up Ether Gust to make sure they don't get ambushed on this turn. Yeah, opponent, you're the one playing the flash deck, don't you? Yorgo me. And if they turn out just to have something like a Frilled Mystic, I guess we can also Ether Gust that. Alright, I'm passing. Worst case, I guess they Sharknado or whatever, but then I can just Ether Gust their Paradise Druid, which seems fine. Nightpack Ambusher. How about Nightpack Nambusher? And then next turn I can go Innkeeper into Lovestruck, which blocks Ambusher pretty well, and if they happen to counter Lovestruck... Well, if they counter Innkeeper, I get a Lovestruck, which is awesome. Yep, they felt compelled to do that, and we will just put that one right on top, in fact. So I think that means I'm just going to resolve the second Clover instead of Lovestruck Beast here. See if they have a counter for this. A Brazen Borrower, yep. This is not what I would call forward progress for the opponent. Swing with one token. If they play a fourth land, I don't want them to get hit with Paradise Druid. Okay, opponent, let's try that again. Cool. And again. Ooh, the big bad wolf. Alright, so we do need to hit some spells here. Or we need our opponent not to counter Escape to the Wilds, which is also a thing that could happen. We've bought at least a couple turns with Lovestruck Beast. Oh look, another Edgewell Innkeeper. I bet this one baits a counterspell, if they have one. If they turn out to have, like, exactly Quench, it's kind of awkward or something, but... This just every adventure creature we draw being 2 more cards should end things in short order. Speaking of ending things in short order... Yeah, this is the epitome of Clover versus Blue-Green Flash. Just... Edgewell Innkeeper. Offline, thanks for the follow. Alright, they had a second Ambusher. That's not nothing, but it's not a lot either. They get some nice wolves. We have a Brazen Borrower and a second Clover and a Fae of Wishes and several Innkeepers and more Lovestruck Beasts. So I don't think this one actually is going to go that well for our opponent in the long run. Alright, they had the Negate. That's 1 card left in their hand. Count them 1 card. Let's go with a nice double bounce on Yon Ambushers. And follow it up with a double wish. Yeah, I think it's double wish here. We'll just get some stuff that kills Nightpack Ambushers. How about... We get the Great Henge as well. We get Escape the Wilds? Worlds are oyster, chat. Worlds are oyster. Why don't we just say... Goodness me. Storm's Wrath actually seems like a pretty reasonable thing. It kills our Innkeepers, but we can cast it after we've drawn all the cards in the world and leave all our Lovestruck Beasts alive, which seems pretty good. I'll take Storm's Wrath. And I will take a... I'll take a Great Henge, why not? Kind of worlds our oyster at this point. So even if they like bounce Lovestruck Beast, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's a bunch of different interpretations of what's right to take there. I think it's not that important though, as long as you're taking cards that actually matter. Alright, Paradise Druid. Well, we know what's up now. Oh, look at that, another Clover. Another Clover. Yep, losing Growth Spiral really, really hurt this deck. Obviously, Teferi being gone helps it even more, but just these things not being able to be bluffed as instants is just horrible news. So now our Fae of Wishes survives through Storm's Wrath, which is cool. We just get to dig for some more interaction. Or Beanstalk Giant. Beanstalk Giant's also pretty nice. In fact, why don't we go Clover... Beanstalk... Jammernaut. It's been okay so far. Also, hello. Haven't seen you around here in a little bit. All the old Clover folks getting back together. You love to see it. Hola, Witum. That smooth feeling of security. Here's where our opponent shows us they brought in sleep. You got a sleep, opponent? You got sleep in your sideboard? I don't think they have sleep in their sideboard, chat. I don't think they have sleep. I guess they could have Garrick's whatever it is. Maybe they've got Garrick's whatever it is, the card that gives +3/+3 to everything. They did not have Garrick's whatever it is. Oh, Return of the Wild Speaker, that's it. Yeah, Weed Magic, I mean, perfect is a tough thing to define, but these have been really nice Clover games. I've enjoyed these Clover games. And if the opponent wants to keep playing, I'm happy to keep playing and stunting on them. That's all 4 Clovers out. Ooh, cute. Cute. Whirlwind Denial, chat. I'm still going to pay for like a bunch of these, but that was really cute. Which ones do I actually want to resolve? I'll resolve 2 of them, I think. I'm going to pull out Red Cap Melee before my opponent thinks to play their other Nightpack Ambusher. Whirlwind Denial was super adorable. Oh my gosh. Actually, I can get Primal Might too. Why don't I just get Primal Might also? Yeah, I'll get Primal Might as well. Adorable. Oh, wait. We had less mana than I thought. We already played a land this turn. Ah, well. I can still just kill the Nightpack Ambush with the 6/6 Lovestruck Beast, so I'll do that. Alright, A-Coop. I'm the one who's having, you know, I'm the one who's having fun. You're the one who's not having fun. One of us can stop whenever one of us wants to. There we go. Okay. Perfect stream so far. This is the power of Clover, folks. This is the power of Clover, rank 13. And let's just get one more match. We're already getting up to the 3-hour mark. We'll do one more match and call it an evening. Hopefully hit top 10 off this one. Honestly, Kevlar, man, I could see Kevlar getting to a percentage in the metagame where you play Whirlwind Denial. I mean, Whirlwind Denial would have been really good against us at several points that game. Like, Whirlwind is... Oh, it's 187 again. This is the person who previously, I believe, was playing Yorion Griffin Airy. Sadly can't. Sadly we cannot. This we can. Pretty good 6. I want to see the sweet Esper. I want to see the sweet Amazon Yorion deck again, personally. Weed Magic, what changes I would make to the deck? If I make changes to the deck, I let people know about them. But, I mean, we've won every match. So right now I don't feel like making a lot of changes. Mountain, alright. 187's doing something different. Zagzags, I wouldn't say head and shoulders, far from it. I would say that decks like Rakdos Kroxa, what our opponent's playing now, and, Simic might even be better than it. Simic Ramp might be able to overcome Clover, on average. But at the cost of struggling against some other decks, maybe. I would say that Clover feels like it's the best deck in the format, but it's competitive and isn't going to be... Well, it might be kind of impressive, honestly. A lot of decks you cannot play in a format where Clover is the best deck. So we'll see what happens. Simrat Calls the Dead. That is a pretty good card to have Brazen Borrower against. Though if they had a Kroxa, it's going to be awkward. Do I just stomp now? It's so efficient to be able to borrow the zombies. But the 2/2s also don't matter that much. I think I'll just get my mana value in here. Stomp now. So this is actually going to be maybe a tricky matchup. Decks with Kroxa in them are just hard for Clover. If we don't have a Fae of Wishes to get Grafdigger's Cage or... Grafdigger's Cage or Tormod's Crypt to lock things down. Fortunately, we've got a pretty aggressive start going here, so our opponents... Well, they could get Kroxa at any point. Tectonic Giant and main deck Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Well, none of those cards are Kroxa, which is fine. We also don't mind losing a Brazen Borrower here. Alright, there's Tectonic Giant. So this triggers whenever it's the target of a spell. It can hit me for damage, or my opponent can get a card to play. But I don't really care. I'm still just going to bounce their stuff and attack them for 7. Alright, what do they hit? Mire Triton and a land. Okay. Opponent really liked Theros. Yes, we are seeing very much a Theros theme deck here. Simrat Calls the Dead dies with no further incident. Oh, Tectonic Giant instead of Mire Triton. How are they going to stop Lovestruck Beast? That is my question for 187 right now. How are you going to stop Lovestruck Beast? Shoving here because if they block a token, they are dead to double stomp. Just as planned. Alright, that was smooth, I guess. So, still concerned about Kroxa. I'm guessing there are some copies of Kroxa in their deck somewhere. But the best answer to Kroxa is not main deck graveyard removal, I think. It's just wishing for graveyard stuff. I guess I could bring in one of Cryptor Cage. Maybe one of these. But it probably brings in artifact removal for Clover, though, so maybe I just keep both of these on the board. Why don't I just bring in an Ether Gust? This covers Kroxa reasonably well, and also can just be used on Tectonic Giant or something. And I'll cut a well, bring Temur Calls the Dead. I don't super want to cut a Borrower. Huh. Alright, let's just not sideboard. I don't know what to do. Yep, the difference between 0 and... by the way, thanks for the follow, Wittum Baman. Yeah, the difference between 0 and 1 is big, the difference between 1 and 2 is big. That's one of the reasons I'm excited for Primal Might, maybe over Domery's Ambush. In fact, I think we've had 2 games already where I've just cast Primal Might for 1 mana. Alright, can't keep a hand that cannot cast any spells. That does not work. This works. This is pretty good. Gonna dump... I think it's Brazen Borrower here. Fae of Wishes getting Grafdigger's Cage is just so valuable that I do want to hold on to Fae of Wishes if I can. Oh, alright, well we'll see what the opponent takes here. I'm pretty happy getting to keep either of these cards, and with my opponent not having a priest or something on turn 2. Personally, I think it's Fae, but they don't know what's in my wish board. They might not know that I have Grafdigger's Cage. Yep, that also makes sense. Right. Well, this shows them that I drew a Steam Vents this turn, but that's okay. Just want to get down the color I don't have painlessly. Yeah, Colorman, you might be right. Alright, Agonizing Remorse. Wow, no zombies. Ouch. That is not what you want to have in that card.
It makes me realize how desperately alone.
And we found another Fae, which is great. It means one of them can get Cage, and one of them can get a nice, juicy Escape to the Wilds. And also milled over another Remorse. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant, Robber of the Rich went into the graveyard there. Good to know they have some haste creatures. Okay, this one's probably not going to miss in terms of making zombies. Third favorites, jeez. Huh. So the risk here is they're about to mill 3 more cards. If they hit Croxa and they have a red source, they could just play it. So I think I just get Cage this turn. Or Crypt, that is, Crypt. So play that, we're gonna stop on their... Basically, if they yeah, we're gonna stop... Huh. Yeah, they might, if they stack their triggers correctly, they might actually be able to cast this Croxa. I was hoping they would stack their triggers incorrectly. The question is, do I want to burn the graveyards now in hopes that they don't have the Croxa? Alright, I'm gonna crack now. The problem is if they mill 3 cards, they can just play Mountain Croxa out of their graveyard. So I just want to pop the graveyard now. Even though they do get to mill into it and maybe make a zombie after that. I think this is the best timing. I just can't risk a Croxa coming down when I have no answer to it. Alright, they did not choose to mill a Croxa. Interesting. Sure, well, the graveyard's at least a little bit on the smaller side. Alright, they are getting some good attacks in with all the zombos, though. No doubt, no doubt. Fortunately, Fae of Wishes is a pretty reasonable blocker. Please no Croxa? No Croxa. Okay. Okay. Okay, so plan for next turn is probably Fae for Cage. The more I see of their deck, the more I think we're probably not in too much trouble if they don't find a Croxa. I'd also not mind an Edgewell Innkeeper at some point here. Even if they eliminate Lovestruck, we just block Mire Triton, go to 10. Liliana, Waker of the Dead. That cannot kill a Lovestruck Beast. Oh wait, oh it's their graveyard. Right, okay. That attack seemed weird. Okay, so Liliana. Do I double block this? I can, no, I can Wish for Unsummon and kill Liliana. That seems like the right thing to do here. I think I need to Wish for Unsummon and kill Liliana. Or just stomp a zombie, kill Liliana, that's also pretty good. Still gonna be tricky with our life total where it is. But every turn that goes by, our average draw is just much better than our opponent's average draw. Oof. Alright. Solid stuff. We can Wish for Cage if we have to. But they still haven't played a second red source out, so I don't think we actually are in a position of having to. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for... Now we're going for the escape. Definitely not Storm's Wrath, seeing as we don't even have double red. Yeah, they might have just been really unlucky, or maybe we're about to see the Croxa, no? Well, I don't know. We do have some Croxa insurance and having a non-escape card in hand, which is good. And I am into getting some double blocks going here. Temur Clover, this is a great example of like a really scrappy Temur Clover game. Those are some of my favorites. Like, we're not doing anything crazy, we're just like using every little resource we have to go, you know, value for value with our opponent here. Okay, so... I can Clover Fae. I just want to escape here. Just gonna escape, not do anything too crazy. Ideally find some form of interaction, which we did in the form of Brazen Borrower. And I'm just gonna hold up Borrower this turn. Opponent is attacking with rather a lot of creatures. And I prefer not to accidentally die to something silly. I think these Mire Tritons should have been attacking more aggressively, or at least the one that they had for a while. The end game here made us look like getting Shadow Spear in a couple turns. Alright, opponent's got lots of scry action going. What did they want to keep on top, I wonder? Now they're shoving with everything. That is very sensible, I think. block you, bounce you. Possible I should have left them with one Mire Triton and blocked the zombie instead to keep a Fave Wishes alive. Not sure. Edgewell Keeper. That's who we were looking for much of this game. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Alright, so we gotta think, like, how could we die in this game? I don't think we're dying next turn. I don't think they're gonna burn us out or anything. So... I think it's just Eddie Bone Crusher here. If they claim the Firstborn Bone Crusher and have Eliminate for Edgewell Keeper, that doesn't work. I could also just Fey for, like, Unsummon for a zombie, plus Grafdigger's Cage? I haven't even seen a Croxa. Alright, I'm gonna play it really, really safe. There's no indication they're running clean the Firstborn in their deck, right? It's like... They have no sack outlets. They wouldn't be running clean the Firstborn. Okay. Famous last words, of course. Okay, that forest can't be played this turn, so it doesn't really matter. Extinction Event, okay. Wipes out my stuff, they get in for 2 more. Not bad, not bad. That makes sense to the thing they would have been holding this whole time. But now we get to Fey. And what am I gonna grab here? Shadow Spear for sure. Once in Future? Oh yeah, Once in Future is excellent here. We've got a Bone Crusher in the grave. Wait, what do we have in the graveyard? Bone Crusher got exiled. We've got 2 Lovestruck Beasts in the graveyard. Okay. That's the plan. Then Once in Future. Shadow Spear. Once in Future grabs back Lovestruck Beast. We make 2 tokens. I'll take Fey of Wishes too, I guess. We have enough spells in hand that I'm not worried about top deck Croxa at this point. Like, I can discard Shadow Spear if I absolutely have to. And I think I just pass here. Hold up Brazen Borrower to cast. Yeah, Nordic Rust is correct there. Chandra, Heart of Fire. Okay. Well, that can ping me for 2, but fortunately Shadow Spear is gonna bail me out. Good gravy. Chandra frickin' 5. Woof. Afe, sadly, our deck has no actual value with Yorion. Adventures and Yorion don't really go together that well. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to do that sort of thing. Also, yeah, hitting Clovers and Innkeepers is really important. So it's not like a lot of Yorion decks where the cards are like somewhat interchangeable. You can't really be doing that here. Alright, so we Shadow Spear the Brazen Borrower. We start to get our life total back up a little bit. Wish again. Grabbing... What do I need to be scared of? Negate covers most things that would actually be scary here. Let's grab... I could get melee to kill Chandra. I could just Gust Chandra and attack my opponent this turn. Let's actually get Gust. And... Expansion Explosion deals a lot of damage. Let's just get Negate. Be nice and safe away from the Chandra. Whip up the Borrower. Gust you. Was it from 31? I don't think that could have been lethal. We didn't even have enough mana to play all those spells. We only have 13 lands in play right now. It might have been worth setting up for with the extra life we're gaining, but I think just playing extra safe is fine. I actually don't... The reason I'm not gusting after their draw step is because I don't care if they draw Chandra again. In fact, I was hoping they would make the wrong choice and choose to draw the 5-mana spell that I can negate. Because now they just can't play Chandra because I have a negate. Still, it's reasonable to ask me at any given time, like, is that play lethal? Because sometimes it is. Alright, so we counter this because if we go to 10, our opponent no longer has any way to burn us out with any conceivable combination of cards, and we can just play Beanstalk Giant very safely. Well, Innkeeper into Beanstalk, so that if they have a threaten effect, we can block. You never know. Good game, opponent. Good game. Alright, they're willing to say it's over. That was tight. That was really tight. Great games, 187. And... rank 11? Alright, whatever. I feel like this could be another number 1 season, chat. Temur Clover feels really, really, really broken. Also, I'm really curious to see what people come up with to beat it, because somebody will come up with something. Somebody always comes up with something, except for Oko. Alright, thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. Really great stream. I hope you enjoy the return of the Clover King. I love this deck. I love, love, love this deck. Please show up for more Clover on Friday at 6 p.m. PST or Saturday, same time. Oh, and let's find someone to raid. Any other Clover players out there? Still want some more Clover action? I feel like there might be some more Clover players out there. And yeah, I think after those games, sideboarding wise, I don't know, that felt pretty good. If our opponent had actually been playing any Croxes in their deck, we would have been able to get Cage at some point to lock it down. Yeah, it still seems worth having. I don't know, we just didn't face a situation all night where we needed to go wishing and didn't have something to win the game for us. At least not at any time when we had enough mana to cast the thing we would have wanted. Once we got to enough mana and we're wishing, we were able to, leverage just once in Future Escape Wilds are generally enough. If you're in a pinch and you really need to do something big with your mana, you've also got Explosion. Don't forget that. Jason's still on? Alright, well, let's go raid Jason then. Flurant. F-L-E-U, right? Alright, well, we're going to raid Jason, folks. Let's go watch some more Clover. Hope you all have a good night, and come back on Friday again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.